and what you're feeling already starts to be still in harmony. Okay? And now practice and continuously and with patience. Stay with it. If it's important to you, stay with it. Keep on cultivating it. Slowly, slowly, but give yourself some time. Everything that happens too quickly, which is changing the status quo too quickly, first of all, it's not helpful for us, and it most of the time is also destructive. But if you really want something, I think this is the way. Slowly, steadily, wholeheartedly. Wholeheartedly meaning what? There is no doubt there. You are not doubting it. There's no doubt. It just means it hasn't manifested like in the way that it's right in front of the eyes. But just because you don't see it doesn't mean it's not there. But why so pure-heartedly? Because only the heart is the one that is, let's say, connecting us humans together. Only the heart is like that area that I would regard as giving the possibility of connecting. The heart is like the highest instrument, if you would say like this, the highest antenna to spread out the connection. And if you are sending from the heart the signals out to the universe, that there is something that there is something you would like to receive. I think the best way to express it is when it comes from the heart. So that means because you already have it inside of you, because the heart is the magnet, because it's magnetic, that's why it pulls. That's why it pulls. Yeah, I express it now again, maybe a little bit fluffy again, but it attracts the energy which is surrounding all of us to finally manifest what thought, what emotion and what feeling and what wish and desire you have inside of that heart. It's pulling it towards you. And this is why now when energy, strong energy, starts to come into your life, well, in order for something to be created, we need a lot of energy. So the ultimate question is always, if you want to manifest something into your life, you need energy for that. And what is the highest energy in this universe that we have? Some people call it sexual energy, or it is love. It is the energy that carries the potential to create life. This is normally what happens when two people come together and then go into a partnership, go into a bond, and create out of love new life. There is no other energy that can create new life. Two people hate each other, how they create new life? Two people are jealous amongst each other, how they create life? No, there's only one thing. And so law of attraction, or however it's called, I think it is based upon these type of thoughts. I don't know specifically, but once you are the magnet, you're pulling something towards you. This goes for all the positive things that you feel during the day or what you're cultivating, but especially like the negative. And I think even, maybe if you are constantly thinking about, worried about, fearful about something, this fear already went so strong that you feel it on a daily basis. And then you're wondering why it happens. This is also that sentence about the, how you call it, the self-fulfilling prophecy. So self-fulfilling prophecy, law of attraction, for me, I think they belong to the same category right now. It's just when we talk about attraction, we relate it a little bit more to something that's a positive, because people most of the time want to attract something positive. Nobody wants to attract something negative. But if it is negative, well, then it's a prophecy. It's the same. Both of these things coming somehow from the same principle that makes this possible to happen. The yin and the yang. Electric, magnetic. One spreading outwards, one pulling towards. The forces of the universe. The forces upon which our existence, our way of thinking, our way of feeling, our way of acting, our way of behaving is always and always based upon. You talk, you bring the message out, you send something out. You send something out, yeah, other people receive it. Some people are electric, other people become magnetic. And this is that constant idea. Of course, I talk in pictures. But as soon as you are able to relate something about your life to this duality, then you know, okay, you are embedded into this way of life as well. You are part of all of this. So it makes sense to figure out for yourself, what is there more? Okay? Then also now, duality is like the very beginning, yeah? It's like yin and yang. This is what people know. Easy way also, now you have the symbol right in front of you. On the one side, the black hairfish, on the other side, the white hairfish. And now you draw a cross right with through the circle. So you have 4 areas right now. And there, what do you see? There is a small black area and a large black area. There's a small white area and a large white area. Where the large white area ends, the small black one begins, and vice versa. So the message is, there is not just duality. If you now dive deeper into it, you even see different transition phases. This is now the next step. There is a transition happening in the moment you are reaching a certain valley or a certain peak. If you have reached the top of the mountain, there's only one direction where it will go. Once you know this, once you can sense it in your own life, in your different life areas, how is it professional-wise, in your professional life, where are you standing? Do you have the feeling you are like in small growing mode? Are you already in super high expansion? In which state are you already? Relation-wise, physical-wise, mental health-wise. No matter, there are so many areas where you can actually relate this model now to. But it just gives you an additional idea that, first of all, what is most probable to happen next, or what are the possibilities that can happen next. Yes, and this is now the part where philosophy, old teachings, I think, can be used for application, but not for knowing. So knowing these things and being able to talk years long about what the philosophy behind it is good. These are so-called professors maybe. But the main part is to find a way to relate all of these teachings into your life. You are the one who is supposed to benefit from these teachings. The ones that wrote it, the ones that delivered all of this, they're not here anymore in this world. They left it here in case they left it for you to get the message and make it better than them maybe did it. That's the reason why normally you want to leave something in this world in order to, let's say, support the upcoming generations to not go through all the mistakes and challenges and difficulties you might have to face. So it's always about your life. It's never about blindly following something just because somebody told you to follow.
The law of attraction is something that I wholeheartedly believe in, the idea of manifestation. I personally believe that it can be simplified even to the point of, if you cannot see mentally, you cannot see in your mind that you cannot have something, you have shut off that possibility to be able to have it. You need to be able to, at the very minimum, believe that you could have that thing. Why? Because if you don't, then you would never set targets and goals to be able to work towards that. You rarely accidentally find yourself in a position of success. It doesn't happen. If you don't put it out there, it's not going to happen. You're not going to attract it. So in the very basic form, there has to be some goal set to be able to achieve that. And I think we can talk about frequencies and vibrations and how the law of attraction works. And I think there's some great books and literature out there. But for me, it can be broken down to the very simple thing. If you are not willing to speak it into existence, you will not work towards it. Thank you to Master Shang Yi for doing a much better job of articulating his message on the law of attraction. If you enjoyed it, please consider supporting us at mulliganbrothers.com.
I'm scared of this pawn slave guy.
We gotta go hundreds and thousands of years back to even find a story of a great motherfucker to even figure out how to partially embody that life and lifestyle. I didn't do all this going, I'm gonna get money, fame, attention, and be a hero. I said, I'm gonna step out into faith, into what's true and what's right, and see what the fuck my power really is and what's working with me. It's inherent hierarchical power and value system. Doesn't matter what everyone else says the power is and the value is. You do this walk and you're guaranteed a certain amount of power and value because it's rare, because it's based in truth, and the world is living a lie, predominantly. It's a cause and effect based endeavor. You do this, you get this. You don't do this, you get this. It's been the same from the beginning of time. Culture and society is our enemy in a sense. Not that we have to do war on it, but culture, society, and what it creates is not your friend, and it doesn't benefit you. It takes you away from who and what you truly are and gives you a set of value systems that are not inherently true or valuable. They're just valuable to that society and that culture.
God damn it.
You don't even need a cosmic explanation to know I'm going to be a man as it pertains to my apprehension, and I'm not foregoing that for anyone else's coercion and duress. And I'm not a slave of the state. If anything, I'm a child of God, and I'm a servant of that and the truth. And I'm in a covenant with that force or that thing, if you want to call it. It's basically just pure understanding who and what you are versus what you're not here to do. You can ignore it to your own detriment. You all have to continue to serve some vision that's not yours indefinitely, and you don't know when it ends. And by the time it does end, you're going to be too old and broken down and burnt out and tired to even give a fuck. I could do whatever the fuck I want every moment of my day. I'm guaranteed value. I live within my means. I have everything I need and then some, and I'm working toward a goal.
I'm scared of this pawn slave guy.
And again, to me, the tiger that you don't believe in is the tiger that will eat you, right? You want to sit there and act like it's all going to just be cute and cuddly and go on forever and never consider the obvious common sense cause and effect. How are you living day to day, and what's the source of this beingness? And if you're not going to be the source of that beingness, you're dependent upon someone or something else. That's a fucked up place to be, especially in times of trouble. Greetings, folks. We're back at it. Apparently, I've gotten word that there's been a campaign, not started, but continued. It's been going for months now. Apparently, Slow State is upset with me, or he's in confusion. He thinks that I'm doing power games, apparently, or grooming, or I don't know what. One of the informants just sent me an email. I guess we can view this, get it out of the way. There's two of them, so I got one here. If necessary, we can go to the other one. It says GIMP groomer claims. So I'm presuming that now there's more projection going on, right? How does one groom if one is being completely authentic and honest, forthright and forthcoming? How am I grooming? You're projecting. All of you beta males who don't keep it real with your women all the way, but come online and flirt with other women and then get caught and then get babysat because your bitch has to come sit next to you on the next broadcast. Don't put it on me. Don't put it on me that you're doing the grooming, saying I'm doing it. You're the ones that can't keep it all the way real. You're the ones that always cheat on these women. You're the ones that always lust after other women, but won't be honest with them. So I went past the fear and insecurity. I went past the judgment. It's not easy for me to come out in the open and speak what everyone else is feeling or experiencing, but won't cop to. Okay? So I'm far from grooming, but let's get to that because I haven't seen the clip yet. We'll watch it together. Maybe there's something else going on. I'm already projecting onto the clip what I suspect it is because they want to keep writing me up as a cult leader. They want to keep writing me up as an egoic narcissist, as a womanizer, because I just don't contend that a man is naturally oriented to be monogamous completely. Sorry. Maybe it's just me and my trauma and everyone else is, and I'm projecting onto them, but I've seen and heard enough from all of them behind the scenes, if not in front of the scenes, to know that someone somewhere is living a lie, if not the majority of them. So that's far from grooming. That's stepping out into the faith and power of the creation, how I was created to be in the purpose and meaning, and not people pleasing and not grooming and not playing to or enabling a woman's ego because we care about each other. Okay. We have feelings for each other. But a man's orientation is one way and a woman's orientation is another way. So we're going to have to meet in the middle, right? That's the opportunity that I put forth. That's far from grooming. Okay. Let's go to it. I can't wait.
I'm not Officer Snaps. I can go somewhere else and get on. It's not a big deal.
What up, Mitch?
Yo, what up, man?
Oh, shit. My girl's here. You got any thoughts about... Go ahead if you've got anything. I don't know where we're at.
Yeah, I missed. I hopped out of the conversation for a minute.
What do you think about? I saw you commenting, but I didn't read them during the video earlier. What do you think about Paul's approach to new people? The struggle sessions.
Yeah, I look at it like he's grooming. You know, he's grooming the people to act the way that works for whatever dysfunction he's got going on. That might not be the best terminology to use, but you know, he's trying to get people to act the way
beta,
you know, that is acceptable to him.
Is
So-
that the one?
Go ahead.
No, I don't really have any well thought out statements to make on it, but yeah, it's just you know,
Beta.
I think I was calling out Jeebus a little bit.
Beta Bell. Are you close to your father? Not really. Does he even return your call? How? Beta.
Wait, that was it? Oh, okay. So it's Beta Male Central. What else was new? It's Gossip Column Central. It's Broken Hoe Central. All of you got the spirit of your mama because you weren't raised by a daddy. You all tell the story that your daddy was tyrannical. You all got a devouring mama who put up with a tyrannical father and devoured you to get you to be something different than what he was. So she taught all of you little beta boys to respect every woman like they're a queen when every woman ain't a queen and every man ain't a king. So it's not my fault that you came up under a woman. I didn't have that experience, so I don't have that programming in me. I'm not a people pleaser. I'm not going to play to a woman's emotions. I'm not going to enable their ego by lying to them and telling them tales, romantic tales of how I love you and only you forever and always. Nah, I let you do that because you want to pacify the mama's spirit that is in that woman next to you. I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in authenticity, accountability, responsibility, and I'm interested in free love. Open connection with honesty and accountability where I'm not a caged beast. Okay. Does that mean I'm running around throwing dick in people? Absolutely not. I didn't do that before. I don't do it now. That's what's always ironic. See, a lot of you beta males, you come up in your early teens and 20s, fucking everything that walks. And then you get in your guilt and want to please mama later on. So you get to pacifying that ego of that mama next to you and telling her lies and disrespecting yourself and her and the relationship. So again, correct me where I'm wrong. I'm open to being corrected. Get me right if you can. If not, I'm going to continue to run with my firsthand experience and what makes sense and what the creational aspects report to me. Broken system, broken trust is here. Greetings, broken system, broken trust. What do you think about all the effeminate beta males who, by the way, his name is Taylor. That's how I know you got the spirit of your mama. Your mama named you. So I know she ran that house. Okay. Number two, when you turn to the side, you got a little black, tiny little black earring in your ear because you like came up under your mama watching her put earrings on. And you think that shit's cute and pretty for a man to wear little black earrings. And you ain't even pimping and playing like that. It'd be one thing if you were playing like that, if you were keeping it 100% player and you wanted to fucking throw some diamonds on to really stun on people. You ain't that guy. All you are is a broken, emasculated beta male with your mama's spirit, and you like to be pretty and cute and dress up like her too. And you got your mama's name, Taylor. They're all the same. Go and ask them what their relationship with their daddy is, and it's non-existent or it's tyrannical. And that's why they got so much guilt and resentment with them. And that's why they identify with mama, and they talk like mama, and they neck cock like mama, and they drag out their words at the end of them, right? Like I do. Remember like how I do? They say I do that because I make fun of them doing that naturally. Hey, what do you think about this? Oh. Right? This is the level of emasculation that we're at. And then the same men with little earrings on that they call Taylor want to say I'm toxic masculine and I'm doing culting and grooming because I'm keeping it all the way fucking real. Something you wouldn't know how to do. Bitch ass motherfucker. I swear to God, you wonder why I don't co-create with the majority of men, supposed men, because they act like bitches. Sit around gossiping all in their feelers, telling me what's appropriate and what's not. If I want that, I'll get around some stuck-up bitch who doesn't know herself and doesn't understand life and wants to project onto me from her feelers. Why would I do that with other men? You guys got a lot to learn. And the problem is, if you want to really get down to it, the women got all the power and they keep fucking or staying with beta males like you. Because they're beta females. They don't want to rise to the occasion. They keep accepting less for themselves and they want to stay lukewarm and unsuccessful all their life. So they keep settling. While they keep settling, they spend the other half of the time places like this watching motherfuckers like me talk that real shit because they can't get enough of it. Everybody wants the real deal, ultimately, whether they say they do or not. Go ahead, broken system, broken trust. You sound like you were yawning there. I don't want to bore you.
Oh, no, I had a natural, I guess, need to clear my throat. But I don't know. When did the grooming process start? Because I think I missed out on the grooming process. So
no, he's taking grooming for pimping, a.k.a. proper instruction motivates people, a.k.a. checking a motherfucker's weak-ass shit when they put it forth. That's not grooming. That's me leveling you up. You should thank me instead of hating on me. I'm checking you on that weak, lukewarm, fence-riding bullshit hoe logic, right? I'm doing the work that your daddy didn't do. I'm undoing the toxicity that your mama did. So you should pay me and or thank me instead of shitting on me and hating on me and trying to project onto me. Again, you're the guy who just got fired the other day because you're such a bitch-ass motherfucker you couldn't go to work and do the drywall and get it done. Your own boy came up here and said, you're a weak bitch-ass motherfucker, and you want to project onto me. I don't have that problem. So if I'm going to go to work, I'm going to get it done, or I ain't going to show up. You show up, try to collect a check, and act like a bitch, and you don't even have enough self-respect or self-worth to not do it on camera and get fucking embarrassed. You're pathetic. You need a daddy. If your daddy, if you would have grew up with your daddy and he would have did his job properly, he'd already would have put you onto the game of how to be a man and how to have self-worth and self-respect. And he'd have told you, keep your bitch ass home if you're going to show up on the job site and act like a hoe. But you didn't get that. And then when I show up to be your daddy now with more results than you do in life, 10, 15 years younger than you, you want to hate on it and reject it and rebuke it. Just level up, bro. Just do better. Your thoughts? Joshua?
Law of attraction. You know, that's how this stream started with law of attraction.
Right.
And,
didn't he say have your fucking heart into it? Isn't that what the monk said? You got to put your heart all the way into it and dedicate your heart and put your all into everything you do and be good at what you do. If not, you're not going to manifest shit. Sorry, sir. Go ahead. I interrupted you. Very rude of me.
That's okay. I've been manifesting law of attraction for a little while now, and it hasn't been very long, but since I have, a lot of things have changed for me. I'm hoping they continue to change for the positive, despite some of the challenges that I'm facing myself personally. But, you know, law of attraction, I think law of attraction is probably the reason why a lot of, as you can see, I have troll magnet right down there as the banner. And I think maybe that's a big reason why the trolls have been staying away since I've been over here. But,
This guy, I couldn't believe it. He says yesterday, he understands women. Paul don't understand women. I got a list of women who contribute to me regularly, and I don't even fuck them. You're such a bitch ass motherfucker. You think there's some virtue in understanding a woman more than you understand yourself based on what they tell you. Newsflash, you tricked yourself out of position. If as a man you focus on understanding and controlling yourself, you attract women in who see value in you and will support you. How much more could I understand women than understanding myself? Or better yet, not understand women, be an attractive, valuable, honorable source for women to look to for leadership, protection, guidance, and understanding and wisdom and good conversation, among other things. Right? So you tricked yourself out of position again, and you proved it by trying to tell everybody what you thought was virtuous. I don't need to understand women to be a successful man in this life. I need to understand self. Self-knowledge is the truest power. By virtue of understanding and controlling myself, I will manifest whoever's meant to be with me or whoever's meant to support me. And it's already happened. So how could you say when that woman next to you is broke and don't bring nothing to the table, I got a list of women who support me and gift me because they see value in me and what I do daily? Why are you lying to yourself and everyone else, bro? I got a 70-year-old woman, whatever she is, 60-year-old woman who offered to gift 100 stacks. You want to talk to me about understanding women? When a woman will give her your money, when she will give you her money, she'll give you her pussy. If she give you both, she'll give you anything. See, a lot of you beta males out there think you got something because some woman gave you some pussy. They give that shit out for free, many of them, at the club, at the bar, at least once every 6 months. Who are you kidding? But when a woman will support you and give you value when you're not even fucking her, not even in the home with her, is this a joke? Are you punking me like, are you the next Ashton Kutcher or what? Daddy chill, right? See, I'm giving them too much right now. You know, this is what happens when they get me fired up and passionate about truth. You know, I start going off and having to give them the fucking real
Daddy
deal.
chill.
And they tell me, Daddy chill, right? Then they start looking at me. Oh man, he's going off. I'm passionate about the truth. I'm tired of you all trying to trick not only yourself out of position and be doing a great job, but trying to drag me along with you as if I don't have the understanding and the results. Let's cut that out. It's not good for anybody. Like, we could move a new way. We could live a different way. You don't have to live like that no more, king, like they say on the street. Your thoughts? Broken system, broken trust. Oh, and if the broken system, broken trust folks on that channel, they want to join the chat because the chat is lit, they say. That's the new lingo, apparently. It's proper instruction motivates people. YouTube.com/@pimpunslaved. An acronym, and it's meant to trigger. So if you're triggered, I'm so sorry. I'm not sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, man, just keep on shining. You know what I mean? Just keep on shining and doing what you're doing because, you know, obviously folks see it, and if they're bothered by it or if they're upset with, you know, folks supporting you, contributing to you, and yet you're this crude, you know, human being that doesn't deserve any support, then you would think you would see you getting no support, but that's
right. That's grooming when you keep it so real and you honor yourself and the truth and do it so consistently that folks who don't even know you specifically directly feel so trusting with you and bonded with you over the truth that they're willing to give value where they get value. That's grooming now. I thought it was community leadership, right? I thought it was law of attraction. You know, I thought it was being courageous and authentic. You know, other folks, I guess, got different ideas of what courageous is versus cowardly. These folks live a very courageous life. Can't you tell? They live such a free, open, authentic life, so actualized and realized.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mr. Broken System. I'm on fire today, they're saying.
You're on fire today. That's beautiful. But I'm still waiting to see it. I'm still waiting to see, you know, I guess how everything plays out. I've got a lot of things I'm excited for. So I guess one of the reasons why I decided to, you know, take you up on your offer to restream, there were several reasons. Not that it, you know, is anybody else's
I gotta
business,
stop
but-
you right there because I'm really just gonna go off today, really trigger everybody. I love gambling. I love rolling the dice and keeping it all the way real. Someone go tell Flow State to tell that goofy bitch who was watches. He won't do it. He don't have the balls to do it. Go tell her to start driving Uber Eats, get a fucking job, bring something to that damn table in that household so they can get out of that horrible house that they're renting to never own, throwing their money in a pit. Just come up with an extra $500 a month. Instead of sitting around monitoring what the fuck he's doing on panel, how he's flirting with a 60-year-old bitch yesterday with a bald head, like we didn't see that, saying he wanted to take advantage of her, and then she's flirting back. What is he doing on panel if he's so monogamous, flirting with 50, 60-year-old women with a bald head, saying they're going to take advantage of each other? He was just kidding, right? I know. Tell me all about it. It's called living vicariously through the internet and not keeping it all the way real when you turn the damn screen off. So instead of letting her sit there and monitor what you're doing because you got caught out there flirting again on the internet but not keeping it real with her, just check her shit, keep it all the way real, and then tell that goofy bitch to go get a job so you can get the fuck up out of that house and go get you an actual house. Or go get you something that you can own, maybe a piece of land. Maybe you can keep her fucking busy. You know, this way you ain't got to fucking please her so much and her ego and emotions. Just get her a fucking purpose and some meaning in her life. Get some success in her life, right? Instead of being up under you, waiting for you to make a move as if that's ever going to happen. Tell her to fucking fly free and go do something for herself and for the rest of the household. Maybe everyone will be better off. You know? Shit, I contend if you give that goofy bitch to me, she'll be making at least way more than you. You can't even show up to do drywall without the shit falling down. I may have a position for her. And no, I'm not talking about selling pussy or doing nothing unethical either. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, everything you do online is there pretty much forever. So, you know, if you're gonna put yourself on the internet, you might want to be careful on what you say and, you know, how you present yourself and the things that you stand for. Because at the end of the day, folks find out. You know, people.
You know
people
how embarrassed she must be? That's why he's so angry and resentful, burnt up in his ego. You know how embarrassed she must be watching him with a Ninja Turtle shirt on a panel, talking all that bullshit that neither of them knows is real. They both know that they're lying, right? Like, she's just riding with it because that's his trip, right? She's trying to be supportive. But you know how embarrassed she is of that motherfucker? You know, eyes blinking, looking all creepy, looking half dead. Can't even show up and do drywall. Can't even fucking put his heart into anything. Can't keep it all the way real. These women don't respect these men. They won't keep it real back with them and just tell them, hey, you're a bitch ass motherfucker. I didn't want to have another child running around the house. Why don't you get to something and do something and really become something? You know? So you got both people won't keep it all the way real with each other, want to enable each other's ego to just cycle and spin and fail and get worse and worse. Shit is embarrassing, man. That's the difference between a power couple or a power situation and a disempowered couple, codependent couple or situation. You're going nowhere fast, and you won't even be real with yourselves and each other to shape up or ship out. You know? So that's why I say you're all meant for each other. Because I could build it for you and you'd fuck it up with some bizarre attachment style, some bizarre dysfunctional way of beingness. Go ahead, Broken System. I think I'm done speaking about Slow State and the rest of these. Although there is another one, and the guy did put the fucking work in. I guess I'm gonna have to play the second one. I'm ready to move
Yeah,
on already.
Yeah, if I would just like to say today, I know I can be here for a little bit. Tomorrow, I'm not sure, but I think I figured something out to kind of help the broadcast along. On my channel, what I'll do is if there's a topic or if there's a video or something, I'll go ahead and pin it in my chat for folks. But I guess what I'm talking about is, if there was something specific that I wanted to address, or maybe your audience doesn't really know a whole lot about me, I could just put something together for them real quick and pin it in the live chat on my channel.
Yeah, no, that's okay. My audience apparently doesn't want to know about anybody, right? They're really into me. Like we're still, it's been a couple of years, but we're still kind of in a honeymoon phase. So they're just really into me and what I do. I mean, I'm speaking for them right now. It's probably not right. I could take a poll, but I'm pretty sure not interested. They're not interested in you. They really don't want to know any more than they've already found out. Like I've probably insulted some of them or wasted some of their time by even because most people I don't bring around here. I don't even really want them restreaming me. I'm a very angry man, narcissistic and egoic. But for some reason, I don't know, something about you. I think it's the fact that you are willing to go to jail and go to court and not be a slave. I think that's I kind of like you, even though you annoy me and rattle on and you text me incessantly. I kind of like the fact that you're willing to do what the rest of them won't do. You got moxie, kid. You get what I'm saying? But you gotta stay in your lane. This is a battle-hardened audience. They just don't give a fuck about anybody, just like me. They care about the truth and what's right. Once you show them that, then you'll pique their interest. They'll want to know a little bit more. But I don't think we're there yet. I don't want to speak for them. Go ahead, sir. I'm being a little bit rude right now. I'm thinking. I don't know when I'm doing it, but I'm starting to realize by what they tell me that sometimes I'm a little rude. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, you can be rude at times. I don't know if it's unwarranted being rude or not, but yeah, I mean, there's just one thing that I'm interested in, and that is being what you were saying about keeping it real with people. And there's some folks that, I wasn't keeping it real with, and it cost me a relationship. You know what I mean? So I'm just
costs everybody relationships.
Yeah. I mean, it just, the reason I come back here and the reason I, think I wander back to you is that, you keep it real with me. And so I can respect that at some level. You know what I mean? Well, I can respect it at the ultimate level, I guess,
Yeah, I mean, obviously I go, or not so obviously, I guess, to some folks, I go a little bit overboard with the keep it real thing to where I even kind of embellish or accentuate or purposely push buttons to make the person feel insecure, right? Because I kind of enjoy that game and where the potential of where it could lead is, right? I'm not necessarily grooming folks. I'm not necessarily wanting folks to feel submissive toward me. We all are on the same playing field. Conceptually, theoretically, we all occupy the same vessel in a sense, the same equipment, and we're all the same conscious awareness on the highest level. And then there's obviously choice and performance in this realm. So I will at times be a bit what seems to be egoic or hypercritical. I'll play myself up and play others down. And then we get to the facts of the matter one way or the other. And of course, we get to a whole bunch of triggering and controversy and awkward moments that are kind of funny. And a bit revealing, you could say. Your thoughts on any of that?
Well, yeah, I mean, can definitely be revealing. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. I was trying to think.
I'm still going to say I am a god of all media, though. I mean, that's kind of, I know that's going to seem like kind of the bit non-bit where I'm being egoic, but that's kind of, there's some truth in every jest, right? So,
God of all media.
Yeah, I'm not giving up that title. It's just only right.
Well, listen, and that's the power of manifestation right there, is that whoever said it, however it was said, right? I restreamed and I titled the video or the live stream, God of all media. So it's already manifested. It's already here. It was spoken into existence. It now exists.
Dude, why am I so weird? Like, this kid puts on an earring. He dresses up like a woman. He looks creepy. He sits in a house and lies on camera to himself, the woman, and everyone else, then flirts with women behind her back on a panel. Why am I so bad and weird for just wanting to, like, take 2, 3, 4 women of enslavement at a time and play essentially Russian roulette? You know, I mean, we're in World War III. We're going to have to repopulate this place. You know, I inseminate 4 or 5 of them at a time. See, it's growing. 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever, whoever's willing. And we see what takes. You know, that's my version of Russian roulette. I don't see the problem. If they're willing and open and consenting, and we're respectable, honorable people, that's an ethical discussion. All right. Why is everybody so upset about me expanding my boundaries and being involved in free love and open connection and attraction? Like, if I'm going to be real and authentic and I'm going to be responsible and accountable for whatever it is that I'm involved in, and I'm going to, you know, communicate effectively, right? Why is everyone so triggered by that? You know, like, I'm the next David Koresh. They're going to come, like, burn the place down because I decided to love more than one person at a time, or make love with more than one person at a time. What is this? You know, while they're like front and back loading porn on every, like, major TV station, you know, what kind of bizarre realm am I in? They're like, no, just sit home, watch the screen, masturbate, get in a monogamous relationship, turn into a woman, and be an inauthentic corporate beta male till you die, and hope you die with enough chips to be able to fucking pay for your funeral. I mean, God forbid I expand outside this cookie cutter, non-functional society and cultural way. You know, and I'm sure everything I'm saying or wanting to move into is completely unheard of. It's completely unfounded. They can't imagine where I would come up with this, right? Let's get a clue. Every single one of you clowns, if you don't do it, your fucking sons and daughters go to concerts where they venerate someone on stage who's living a rock star lifestyle. You know what that means? It means they have talents, abilities, value, and audience, and it means they're usually non-monogamous. Has anyone noticed that? Right. So you'll all get an arena and you'll idol worship them. But when I say I want to move into something similar, but not as much of an egoic premise, more of a supernatural premise based on who and what I am and what seems apparent to me, I'm a bad guy. I'm a cult leader. I'm the next Koresh. Burn them down, kill the babies for safety and democracy. Let's cut the fucking games. The only difference is the guy on stage is deemed by every woman in an audience to be an alpha male. The guy in the audience who paid to be there to watch him has been deemed by the woman next to him to be a bunch of beta males. So the guy on stage can do it, but the guy next to you can't, right? There's your fucking dynamic. And those same women will show up and sing all the songs of that alpha male. And in the songs, he's talking about fucking every woman in the audience. He can do it. You can't, beta male. So apparently there's a status difference. There's a power differential. There's a lack of understanding with the one next to you, but there's pure understanding and connection with the one on stage who's deemed to be the most powerful and valuable in the room. Get a clue, you chimpanzee creatures in jeans. Go ahead, sir. I think you were mumbling there.
No, I appreciate you bringing masculinity back. You know what I mean?
I'm bringing masculinity back. Yeah. These beta boys don't know how to. Yeah. I might have to get Timberlake to do a remix with me.
That's what I'm
masculinity back.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry that God created me to be somewhat of a mammalian creature beast. Can we come to a trusting, honorable understanding and direct that? We do that process together. Can we figure this shit out together, or are you going to make me the enemy while you go pay $500 to watch Chris Brown, who's going to beat up Rihanna and fuck 10 bitches and claim it's different when he doesn't? Not that I want to beat up on women, right? See, there I go getting myself in trouble. You get my point. I'm being a bit extreme for a reason, you know? Doing a bit of trigonometry therapy for a reason, to kind of expand upon it, to kind of see it for what it is and call out the little things, the little pieces of hypocrisy that seem to exist. You know, you remember when the Beatles were up on stage and all the bitches, the well-to-do, sophisticated white women were in the audience, wetting the panties, crying, and with a beta male next to them. First of all, in those days, you couldn't even see the beta males because there was 300 women stacked up who just left the beta male wherever he was standing. They just ran from him. Hey, fuck him. He'll be there when we get back. Ran right up. 300 women crying and wetting the panties, right? But that's acceptable because they're deemed to be that status. They get that status. You don't get that. You go to work in your dickies. You come home smelling like a slave. You got a daddy for a boss, and you got a mama for a mate. Any thoughts on any of this? Is any of this making sense, or am I just purely grooming and projecting my fantasies and wanting a cult and have a harem, right? Like they like to say, as if 3/4 of women who I'm attracted to, who may be attracted to me, we ever wind up fucking, right? Because we're not meant to. You could just tell through conversation and energy exchange or attachment style or purpose and meaning that it ain't gonna work until something changes, right? So they got the wrong idea about me on all levels. But go ahead, sir. I want to know what you think. How much grooming am I doing?
I am happily married. I have a beautiful YouTube wife. So just so anybody is aware, I am off limits. That cop the other day, he might have helped if he'd known that, but I don't know. We'll try to make this less awkward.
Right. You got these beta male policy enforcement who are so unactualized and unrealized and white knuckling in their home life and in their beingness, monogamous with some mom at home. So they come to the job and they want to beat up on me. They want to tase me. They want to order me around because they already know in their heart of hearts and their subconscious, they're a bitched up beta male and they got a mom at home and they can't take it. So they want to get out in their ego and put a costume on and act out on me. Hey, bro, I didn't do it to you. You did it to yourself. You could right the ship. You could correct the situation. It's going to take you being all the way real. Now, they ain't going to do it. But what they will do is get caught on camera fucking some dirty bitch in the back of the police car, which they do every 4 or 5 weeks, right? And when you bring some illegitimate child home or some fucking disease you can't cure, then who's going to be the beta boy once again? Because you're not responsible and accountable. And that's why the women won't let you be anything but monogamous, because you're a bunch of little boys and you'll go put your dick in anything and come home with something worse than AIDS. So they don't trust you. The same reason I wouldn't. Just because I'm saying that I'm doing it and moving into it doesn't mean like a lot of things that I'm into or move into that it's meant for everybody. Far from it. If these women tomorrow said, you know what, we're going to try to understand you and let you be supernaturally sound and move into your power and faith, and have communication, you'd be out throwing your dick in anybody who'd have you and they'd lose respect for you. And you'd wind up giving them a disease or bringing home a child for them having to care for with some goofy bitch. So you wonder why they don't trust you? Because they already know what's going to happen. They got to be your mama. See, it takes two to tango. And a lot of this shit is subconscious. It's readings. You can read when you can trust a motherfucker. You can read how far you can go with somebody. You know, don't think it's not there. So the same woman who's never going to trust you to go around the corner in her car is going to go around the world with me in a different way, because she's going to see and feel, more importantly and intuit, my passion for truth and doing what's right as far as I perceive it. She doesn't have to like it, but she's going to respect it. And that's the key in taking a relationship long term. It ain't about liking and loving. It's about respect. And you got to respect yourself first and foremost to get that from anybody else. It doesn't happen any other way. All right, we got the other video here because the informant's on it. He clipped it up. He did all the work. I guess I'm going to have to show it. You know, Jeebus slave complaining about ... Let's say it.
With my words, but she's a genius, dude. She's a bookworm, okay? Somewhat of kind of a paralegal nowadays. And we're building our case and we're doing for ourselves. But what we found out is that these dudes like to exploit other people's bad situations to profit and benefit their YouTube channels. And I will just say this, and I will take credit for this. And I do give Chili credit for a lot of things. And I give Paul credit. Dude, I'm personally responsible for bringing at least 100 people to Paul's videos, and who knows who they shared them with, right? So yeah, I'm a key player in this too, because like I believed in the cause and I believed in what he did, but he only did it like once, maybe twice. He tried to do it a few times. Then he saw he had nothing to stand on because, goddamn, guess what? You're a slave too. He didn't want
What
to
is
look
the
at
cause?
The cause is that people have their own power that they can rely on, and that no matter what, dude, you stand on what you believe in. I'm all for people that can just stand on their own fucking beliefs, but Paul's a fraud. I mean, and I'll say it openly, he's a fraud. There's these people who come out, and I see Snafu's name. Look, I'm just gonna throw fucking names out, right?
He came out of the same network that
They
talking.
have this so-called cause, right?
It ends right there. I didn't stop it. It ends right there. You won't come here, you punk ass coward, and you're all watching and listening too, because you all reveal that you watch and listen every day. You know everything I'm saying in the last topic that I talked about. You know the last shit I took based on what you all say. So why won't none of you get up here and tell me to my face I'm a fraud? Because you know it ain't true. You know damn well I live my information. You know damn well nobody's this good the way I speak from my heart and look straight ahead. I don't do what you do, hemming and hawing, stuttering and mumbling, looking up and around. I sit on camera the whole fucking broadcast, 500 days in a row, without a day off. I look straight ahead and speak from the heart, and I don't stutter step. Nobody's that good. You got to be true to self. Don't tell me I'm a fraud and then don't show it. If you're going to talk that shit, then you got to walk it. Show it or stop talking it. See, you're only demeaning yourself. You're only disrespecting yourself and the truth by making claims that you know in your heart of hearts is not true. So keep doing it, right? It doesn't bother me none. You're just giving me indirect promotion. You got another 10 people that are here today to find out who and what I am because you tried to hate on me and trash me without me present, and you won't show up in my face and speak the real deal to me and have the back and forth because you know it ain't real. Like you're the smartest ones in the room, and thousands of people got taken by me, right? I'm a fraud, and they all got taken, but you're a genius who's going to reveal it to everyone, right? Narcissism 101, grandiose sense of self and belief about one's own ability, and you got nothing to show that can prove that. That's the difference. I got confidence in who and what I am, and I can show results all day long on some level. You don't have that, and you keep projecting narcissism onto me. Confidence is not narcissism. Having a grandiose sense of self and ability without any proof or repeatability, that's the narcissism. And you and Slow State and all the rest do it regularly. You're so lacking in self-awareness and awareness of others. And you're so willing to readily project onto others to make yourself look better, but show nothing when it comes to results, and won't bring your horrible philosophies here knowing that they're going to get torn down and exposed. Because that's what I'm known for. Every one of you bitch-ass beta males who calls yourself a truther or says you're about truth or keeping it real, when you get here, it all unfolds on you, right? All folds in on itself. 99 out of 100 times we've seen it over and over again. And they're left like this with nothing to say. And then they go off and keep hating and say that I unloaded on them. I didn't give them a chance to speak. I projected onto them and insulted them and did ad hominem. No, I described your condition and your state of consciousness, and I connected all the dots, and I went to the root of your beingness, intention, and motivation. Because I know myself. That's the only knowledge you need in this realm, truly, is knowledge of self. With that, you know what every other being is doing and why they're doing it. It's clear and present. And that's the one thing most people don't have, is self-awareness, awareness of others, and the discernment to see what folks are doing and why and how. That's what your court personnel has that the majority of folks don't have. They can look at you and read you. They know exactly your intention and motivation. They know the root of your beingness, and they're going to convict you if you don't have conviction. And they're great at it. Thoughts, broken system, broken trust. I'm going to keep throwing the link because I want some new conversations. I want to talk to that Lindsay woman. I want her to question me on everything she heard about me that she came here to check firsthand. I'm open. I'm accountable. You could hold my feet to the fire. You could put any narrative before me and I'll answer to it. I'm not running and hiding from nothing.
Well, and it's amazing that all the opportunities you give somebody to actually come up or have a conversation, and the fact that folks won't do it. They don't want to do that. And I'm trying to remember correctly what he said about what is your higher purpose, or what is your channel all about. And then I'm paraphrasing. I don't remember specifically what he said, but it was something about actualizing your individual power or something like that. Roughly speaking, right? What a horrible message. Like, how dare you try to tell somebody to step into their own power, or try, you know what I mean? It's like, you ask that same question to some other YouTube channels, and I doubt they can tell you what their higher purpose is, or what the purpose is.
What is she saying? That she's on San Luis Obispo? Now she's giving me her address? This Lindsay broad wants me to bang her already. And C Slow State says I don't understand women. I didn't need to. I just need to understand me and the truth and live on that. Pretty sure that's what she's doing now. She's giving out her address down there. All right, you want to come up and see me sometime? I don't go to California. That's the only thing. California's a slave state. You're going to have to come up out of there. You know? What? Okay, she wasn't doing that. Thought she was giving out her address. I jumped the gun there. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Unless you want to do it. Go ahead, broken system, broken trust. We're going to move along here. We got the breaking slave news soon, and got cops shooting citizen slaves.
All right, well then I'll keep this quick. It's amazing how you keep control of your channel, and I'm a little bit jealous. I wish I could control my live streams, with the same type of control.
Once you control you and your life more, you can control your channel that much easier. The channel is an extension of self. I have very little control over this channel. I've set examples. I've done demonstrations at times, which tends to set the tone and keep everybody governing themselves, because we all know what's true and what's right and what's proper, right? And then, of course, you have the 1% who regularly seek to push boundaries everywhere they go. And I appreciate them for that. I'm the same way. But they need to learn what to do, when, why, and how. They need to learn how to alter that approach to get better results for themselves. So, yeah, I do very little controlling of this channel on this panel. I encourage folks to control themselves. And if I have to do explanations and demonstrations with folks and on folks to set that tone, then you do that. And then they call you egoic and narcissistic because you just won't let any loser failure come up for more than 6 months at a time and run your whole channel into the ground, right? I gave enough. I gave a good 6 to 8 months of asylum before I really refocused and reprioritized again and said, hey, you know what we need to do when we come here to a certain degree? I'm open to everything. Come up on panel. Let's have the back and forth. Don't bring the egoic gossip, nonsense, drama games here constantly. Don't bring the fucking projections and dysfunction here constantly. Don't come here and think you're going to use me for viewers and try to suck off me for your channel and destroy me in the process like a parasite, right? Treat me like a proper host. So, yeah, you got to set the tone sometime. If you value yourself, you value your broadcast, you value your life and purpose, you're here for a purpose and not just to fuck off with a bunch of losers who want to accept less for themselves, then you move more and more into that. And you let anybody who doesn't understand it go fuck themselves because they're not meant to know. Lindsay. Hey, Lindsay.
Yeah. Well, hello. I can't believe.
Hold on. Lindsay's very low.
Okay, hold on.
Low, Lindsay. Hello?
Yes, testing 1, 2.
Lindsay, line 1. Lindsay.
You can't hear me?
Yeah, it's really low. This may be a missed opportunity. I was kind of looking forward to this. All right. Well, we're going to have to try again. Try a new piece of equipment or take the equipment out, plug a headset in, go through the settings.
No.
No. All right, well, I'm going to put Lindsay to the back because I don't want to get distracted. There's an avatar there. Very easily distracted.
Yeah, just don't let
divine
up any
feminine
porn
creatures.
bombers.
What now?
Yeah, just be careful of porn bombers.
Oh, listen, if she wants to show me one of her home movies, I'm not going to stop her. I could always restart the stream, man.
Yeah.
So if she's feeling frisky and she wants to porn bomb away. I'll just restart it.
Apparently, she's fixing her mic.
All right. All right. Let's move forward here, okay? God damn it, Paul. See? Audience is getting antsy down there. Red-blooded men. They're genetically, they're built to rape and pillage, conquer. That can go either way. You bring a woman up, she can't be seen or heard, and now they're in an arousal state. A herd of chimpanzees. If you bring a female in, start getting rowdy. Do we want to do we don't want to do Alex Jones, Andy Tang. We already did that. I don't even care. Okay, the Daddy Can't Play segment, Volume 3. Daddy Can't Play segment, Volume 3, Trump troubles. States consider removing from the ballot. We're on to Maine now. Maine says Daddy can't play.
Maine has disqualified former President Donald Trump from its presidential primary ballot.
It's the second state to bar Trump for his role in the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol. Fox Kaylee Schuyler joins us live.
First attack in history.
The details.
Tom and Alex, Maine Secretary
Shane was there.
Bello said in her 34-page decision that Trump is disqualified under Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, which is that anyone who has sworn an oath to the Constitution and breaks that oath by leading an insurrection cannot hold an elected office. The Trump campaign says they will appeal. A spokesperson for the Trump campaign said in a statement, in part, quote, "We are witnessing in real time the attempted theft of an election and the disenfranchisement of the American voter." Just last week, Colorado also disqualified Trump for the same reason, but the Colorado Republican Party has appealed that decision. But that's not all. Lawsuits looking to remove Trump from the 2020.
Hey, who are these red and white guys, man? I want to know, who's riding with me ultimately. I know you guys probably go other places and talk shit about me like that panhead guy, but I know you guys secretly love me. It's like unpopular to love me, the white gorilla. I get that. So, people want to do certain things in public, other things in private. I want to know who this red and white club is. These color guys. Who do you ride under? What's the patch? Where are you guys based out of? If I'm ever down there, are we good? Do I got to strap up extra? Do I got to stay out of your area, check in, like they say? Or can I stop by? We smoke some reefer, ride around a little bit. Maybe you give me a couple of your pieces of property, and by that I mean women. Bikers, women is property. Just works out better that way. They prefer that, right? That's the thing. They'll say they're grooming, but the women say, "No, I'm property of the gorilla." So I don't really want to interact with you. It's better for them. So let's say IRS or someone comes to them, they go, "We don't know anything." What do you mean? We're property of the white gorilla. Oh, he's culting, he's doing grooming. Nah, we prefer to be property of the white gorilla. We don't want to interact with you. Go talk to him. Now they got to go talk to me, because essentially that woman made me an administrator of her estate. It's to her benefit. That used to be how it used to be, right? Women trusted their men so implicitly to be competent and capable that they would literally say they're property of that man. It wasn't a demeaning position, right? It was a position of trust and respect and empowerment and honor, right? A woman would only do that unless she was a goofy, broken bitch. So I guess there's a big if, because, right, not all women, not all men, are created equal. But if she's a woman of honor and understanding and wisdom and empowerment, inspiration, and she's an attractive, successful being, for her to say that must mean something, right? That guy must be up to something. He must be about something. Oh, that's how that works, it would seem. But yeah, I'm kind of curious. 81 red, white, slide. I don't know what that means. That's the thing. See, now he's doing club lingo. I just asked a simple question. You guys like Hell's Angels, Galloping Goose, Mongols?
No, I'll tell you exactly what that's about. That's Gigi and your geriatric fucktards, because we have real Hells Angels, AURA. They know who I'm talking about.
Bro, why are you always causing trouble with all these people?
Gigi and her geriatric
Nah,
fight
you're
club
always, but this
decided
is
to
not,
support
but I
these
didn't do
criminals. That's
this.
when all
I
this
don't know.
crazy shit.
God damn it, Snaps. I don't know these people and I haven't interacted with them. And you go all over town like the village crier idiot, starting all these problems and bringing these people here and then passing off your beef with them onto me. I already have enough problems, bro. I already have enough people who don't like me based on what I do and how I speak and live and walk around. And I'm pretty humble in a sense and respectful. I mind my own business. I stay in my lane. I don't get uppity with people out in public. I hold the fucking door for old ladies and shit. You know, I get a bad rap sometimes. And then this is why, because people like you start all these problems and then bring these people here off this hate energy. And I can never have a real fucking conversation with them because they're already hating on me off of what the fuck you did and said. This is why we could never do a biker club. Because 10 people a week be showing up at the clubhouse asking me what the fuck your problem is, and I have to deal with them and their hate energy off some shit you did and said. And I'm like, over it, man. You know, like I know who Gigi is. Like I'm involved in their online fucking drama, gossip bullshit. No, you are. That is you. Because you do it with everyone.
Right. And you're curious where these fucktards came from. We know exactly who they are.
I didn't ask that. You don't know who these people are. They appear to be motorcycle club people. Are they just acting? Maybe. Maybe they are. So now you're starting problems when I've already like called out Bloods, Crips, bikers, everybody as a man first and foremost on being Americans. I've already shot my mouth off and potentially made enemies with a bunch of people if they didn't understand what the fuck I was getting at for all of us. Right? So you want to now start problems with potentially groups of men who are riding around essentially known to be either outlaws or misfits or on the fringers. A lot like you, oddly enough. A lot like me, oddly enough. Why is that?
No. I'm good with the people who are actually true Hell's Angels. We have a few friends of ours. These people in there, there's a lot of weird optics to this, and it all stems from the veteran charity fraud and the pogo shit. So I'll just leave it at that. That's why they're here, though. They're following over.
Right. So that's code for it all stems from you running all over like you did with me, projecting onto everyone some spurious story about how everyone's doing fraud and pogo behavior, and you collected a whole nother set of haters. What else is new? Right. So when you say it stems from that, you don't mean you have proof that those people are involved in it. You mean you kept yelling it and screaming it everywhere and incorporating others into the narrative to the point where you keep collecting haters everywhere you go. And in a way, it's good because you keep indirectly bringing a bunch of haters to me to watch and listen to me. And then after long enough, they go, this kid's kind of funny. He kind of has some good points. We don't really disagree with him. And he seems to have heart. So, I guess I want to believe that I'm good at, on some level, bringing people back home to what matters.
Only for you, Daddy,
what's in the now.
Right?
What now?
I said only dance on table for you, Daddy, right? No, look, it's business that you don't get yourself involved in, and I respect that. But these motherfuckers, they know exactly why they're here. I know why they're here, and so does Crew. And the truth, we'll leave it at that.
Snafu's missing brain. Do you see? Because you're getting the characterization that you're unintelligent, you're brainless.
I guess. You know what I noticed though? I loved how Hank and Mitchell sat side by side with Host State and didn't pipe up when you were being called a fraud.
No, Mitchell not only didn't pipe up, he did pipe up. He doubled down on it in chat and said that I was. Every few weeks he breaks bad again because he's another being in a host state. He's constantly in a broken host state. 1 minute he wants to suck your feet and make love to you. The next minute he's slashing your tires and bleaching your Jordans. You know how it goes.
But really, I came here because Lindsay promoted the fact that Flo was talking shit about you, and I thought she was going to come talk to you. So I wanted to hear your.
Oh, you don't get it. You don't get it. I keep telling them how to do the hit on me if they want to do it. They don't even listen to that because they think I'm lying to them and playing a power game. I go, keep talking about me and hating on me. All you're going to do is send people over who are bored with you, because I watch from time to time these folks. When I check in on them, I go, you guys are up to the same nonsense, and you're horrible presenters. So keep hating on me and showing me. All you're going to do is bring people's attention onto me. And then through my conversation and understanding, I'm going to swipe them from you, at least part-time. And it's not going to go back the other way. Nobody's going to leave here and what the fuck I do to go watch Slow State with 8 other tards and incels. It's just not going to happen. Sorry to break the news to everybody. And you can call that egoic. I really feel that. It's not egoic if you really feel that and you have the results to prove it. I haven't seen or heard anybody say that they've come from here and went over there and that they like what's going on over there or anywhere else. They get caught up because they're in their feelers and they get attracted to something that's usually based in their past history. And when they realize that it's part of their broken trauma loop, they usually break free from it and come back home with daddy because they start to see them for who and what they were the whole time. See, this thing works, man. It's not me. This whole thing works. This process, this simulation, this force.
Well, Lindsay, get your ass up here. Come talk to daddy.
You already did, bro, and her shit wasn't working. Why do you keep
It's funny how
women?
it doesn't work for you, but it works all the time when she goes to Flo's or others panelists. It's just interesting. Optics. You know,
Okay.
just saying.
Interesting optics, right? Again, I don't need to challenge women or anyone else here if they're not acting out and challenging me. They're not causing a disturbance, right? So if they want to come here and soak up the conversation or the understanding or just be part of whatever we're doing, well, the more the merrier in a sense, right?
Right. That's why I wanted to hear what she had to say to you. You know, because obviously
So did
Flo
I,
has been
but her-
grooming her.
Again, so did I. Her equipment appears to not be as functional and maybe as it has before. I'm not going to project onto that. I got to take it as it is. I can't presume everybody's acting and playing and lying and deceiving all the time. You know? So I told her, come up here. She seemed she wanted to have an interaction with me. She came up here, couldn't really hear her. And it, became a distraction. So if she gets it together, we'll have a conversation. If she doesn't, she can go talk with Slow State 11 hours at a time about nothing. I don't know. What do you want from me, Snafu?
I want daddy to just cook.
You want me to barbecue again like the old days, right? Before I stopped eating
Like
animals?
Renaissance. Like we stole Talcott's fucking livestock, Renaissance style.
Yeah, well, if there's a breakdown of society and I can't grow my own food, I'm going to go back to eating animals to survive if I have to. And then we'll rape and pillage and we'll do Renaissance.
We'll make sure we get the
old days.
cheese. We could make sure we got cheese factory or something for you.
Right. What was I just going to get? Fuck, you got me. Oh, yeah. All right, move on. Snappy snaps. We got to get to the docket here. We got World War III ramping up even more. Oh, yeah, we never finished Daddy Can't Play. Come on, Snap.
24 ballot are currently pending in more than a dozen states, and courts in other states, including Michigan and Minnesota, recently dismissed efforts to block Trump. Bellows admitted in her decision that no Secretary of State had, quote, deprived a presidential candidate of ballot access based on Section 3 of the 14th Amendment.
That amendment, there's never been a Supreme Court decision on that amendment, so it's never really been litigated.
Right. Notice what she just said. Everyone just missed that. The 14th Amendment. It's the same amendments I talk about, 11 through 14, establishing public policy and public safety. It's un-Americano if you want to go to the foundations and principles. Okay, Lindsay's back. Lindsay, line 1, go.
Okay, is it working now?
Oh my God, she's there. She's got a sexy voice too. Fuck, this is going to be... Okay. I'm not gonna. Yeah, I'm gonna. No. I'm gonna rank. No, creature, stop. Creature, heal. Go ahead, Lindsay. I have to be on my best behavior. Slow State and others are watching, and they're saying I'm grooming. So I got to make this look good.
Okay, I really don't. I didn't expect to be on here at all. And yes, I am a friend of Flow State's. I'm not going to throw them under the table.
Sorry to hear that.
Not.
Yeah, I'm terribly sorry that you support a pedo supporter like that.
Okay, he's gone. Go ahead and continue.
Okay. Well, what do you want to know from me? If I'm refusing to talk on Flow State's behalf because I am not him. He can speak for himself. But what did you want to know from me? Just the things in general that people are saying to you, or rather about you?
Yeah, no, it was more for, I guess, your benefit and for the audience's benefit, for content purposes, if you will. You
I
know,
think
if you
it's
had,
for content.
yeah, I mean, if you had something that you wanted to address directly, something that you heard, rumors, allegations, and have me answer to them, this is the time and place, you know, but nothing is necessary. Nothing needs to be forced.
Okay, I will tell you the things that I've heard and why I wanted to come here and observe for myself, because I'm often told here, you should like this person or you shouldn't like that person or this or that. I like to decide for myself and give people a chance. What I've heard about you has pretty much, I'll be honest, kept me out of here. So here I am because I got to just, you know, explore what I'm told not to. That's me. So,
Oh, you're a bad girl.
right,
Bad girl.
right. I'm human.
These are the
Exactly.
ones who are the easiest to groom on, the ones who really want the raw, uncut truth. Go ahead.
Yeah, I get the innuendos. First of all, why don't you tell me what specifically how you think grooming is done here? Because I'm not catching you. Yeah, when you say so and so like flow.
Yeah, no, that's me doing the bit of what they say I'm doing. They're saying I'm grooming. I'm just like kind of playing at times and flirting or just being real or just kind of doing content with what I know can be kind of interesting or titillating or awkward or cringy, right? It's conditional.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm doing the bit non-bit. They said I'm doing a cult here. They said I'm grooming apparently. So when I say that, I'm saying this must be part of the grooming process.
I was just trying to understand that. No, it's not even an issue. Well, because it's what, you know, it's just, you don't even really have a word. You don't even really have a description of it. And it's just, I don't see any grooming going on. When I think of the word grooming, I think of pedophiles or something like that. So I just don't know. And you said that I was being groomed, so I wanted to understand that. Clearly, it means nothing. Okay. Well, let me ask you a neutral question right here first. I was told on here that I use sexuality as a weapon. What does that mean to you?
Okay, what it means to me is this is great. What it means to me is you got men who are very like insecure in their beingness, and you seem to be a sexual creature. Now, what I mean by that is you're probably on some level comfortable with yourself. You probably got to a point where you're able to just kind of emote and speak freely. And that can be very threatening to a man who maybe feel challenged by you while also being attracted to you, you see? So these folks who want to, again, stick me with the same judgments are going to do the same with you for the same reason. They're insecure, they're disempowered. And when they see someone who may be in the process of or already have come out into their power and faith, well, you're going to be an affront to their inner space. So if they're attracted to you and they feel challenged by you, then they're going to say you're using your sexuality as a weapon. But unless you're throwing your body parts around, you know, and you're violating someone, I don't see how that could be possible. There's a thing called self-control and restraint and discipline.
Oh, okay. Well, I have thrown it around a little bit before, but, you know, that would be me being honest. But when I heard that I was using it as a weapon, and I'm not being stupid like the person, Snafu or whatever his name is, Snafu, he said, I'm playing stupid. Nope, I'm not playing stupid. I'm asking because I genuinely want to know or want some kind of validation that I'm being told what I'm being told. And if Paul
Okay,
here
so
says
maybe then what he's getting at is like maybe a lot or most women do, you know, even men, you could argue. We like to feel attractive. We like people to verify certain things at times or even validate. And we put ourselves out there and see what comes back.
Everybody likes that. Everybody likes that attention. Everybody's a sexual being, you know, so I don't see, would you say a good looking man uses his sexuality as a weapon? I don't really think of anything like that as a weapon.
Yeah, again, it's relative, right? For folks who are infophobic in the sense of they're scared of the world and what it has to put forth, and they're scared of parts of themselves and what resides within them, then yeah, everything becomes a weapon. Like Snafu will call everything a weapon and everyone weaponized because he's triggered, right? For folks who are less triggered and more comfortable with themselves and have an understanding and reconciliation of life on life's terms, We don't see that as a weapon. We see that as an attractor. Again, if it's directed properly with discernment, because I don't think any man wants a woman who's running around using her body to get attention. You're going to get that either way, you know? So why are you going to play into it and get more attention that neither of us probably really want ultimately? Because you're really most of the time going to get the interaction and the attention of some beta male who wants to fuck you. He's not going to put you in a different position.
I firmly believe it doesn't matter as a woman what you look like, how fat you are. If you're pretty or ugly or whatever, there's always going to be 5 guys right there. As you've seen in yourself when you look around, you just go
right.
all or
no man wants to be with a woman who's not constantly being hit on. If you're being real with yourself, the question is, what is she doing with that attention, and how much is she playing into getting that attention, and for what reason? That's conditional. That's subjective. You got to talk to the being to figure that out.
Well, I'm not going to beat this horse. I wanted to understand exactly how sexuality can be used as a weapon and if it's on purpose or not. But you want me to go down this list of things?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm rather enjoying this.
Okay. The things that I've heard, one thing is delusions of grandeur, that you have delusions of grandeur, that you have like a godlike complex.
How could I have delusions of grandeur when everything I've spoke about manifesting, I've manifested or is being manifested at this point?
Keep in mind, these aren't my words. This is what
I know. I'm answering to what the claim is. I'm making clear all the answers to all the claims when they're unfounded. It's proof they're unfounded, right?
What was your goal?
Where's my delusion of grandeur? Could I have I'd love a specific claim of where I've had delusions of grandeur, because all the visions that I've come forth with, I've manifested and completed with, or I'm on the way to complete with. So I don't see anything as grandiose and delusional.
Okay.
I'm just go ahead.
Going down. Let's see that you're antagonistic and manipulative in a bad way. What do you think? Yes or no?
If that means that I will play people out and I will bait people, watching that they will not be honest with me, that I will manipulate them out into the open to expose them. Yeah, I've been known to do that, because most people, a lot of these folks on here, will not completely be honest with themselves or you.
Like
so you
Snafu?
almost have to. Well, it could be an example. Yeah, I don't perceive Snafu as correct. Whether he's actively dishonest and willfully dishonest, I don't know completely. But, you know, he could be incorrect most of the time, but believe what he's saying, in which case he would not be a dishonest person. He would just be skewed perspective.
We all would have skewed perspectives, wouldn't you say? Just by how you grew up, the dynamics of your relationships.
No, I wouldn't necessarily say that all of us at this present time have a skewed perspective.
But nobody's perfect, so of course it has to be a little off.
It's not necessarily about perfect. It's about desirable, explainable, demonstrable, definable, repeatable results.
What have you manifested that was your number one goal, or have you?
Yeah, I would have to say it wasn't even necessarily a goal, but I came into alignment with unknowingly at the time. Broadcasting, getting value without having to live like everyone else, so to speak. All my friends and family, quote unquote peers. So there's the traveling situation, which again has had, you could call limited success, because at other times the car's been taken, I've been put in a box, but out of that comes more manifestation of success, because I didn't present to court, I didn't sign any paperwork, I didn't pay any bail or bond, and I'm still here doing what I do. And it seems as if I know something that they won't be completely honest about with everyone else, because there's a power and value differential there. So again, that could be argued that's a skewed perspective. Also, when it comes to relationships with women, I've more and more, again, I've only been with 4 women in all ways, so I'm far from highly experienced, but I've noticed the quality of the relationship change as time goes on. More authenticity, more understanding, functional communication, relatability. and a principle and a discipline that's come forward and a process that's come forward that seems to work for everybody involved and can include multiples.
How much of this do you think is rationalized behavior, and how much do you think is 100% authentic? I'm telling myself 100% truth. I'm being absolutely accurate in my perceptions of myself. And I'm saying myself as you. And that's my question to you.
I don't think anybody can answer that question without running the risk of being hypocritical in the answer. I mean, I wouldn't be saying anything that I didn't think was genuinely authentic. I know that's surprising. But yeah, everything that I'm saying or answering to you is what I perceive. That is my understanding and my experience. So
I try to be really authentic too. But then
yeah, so whether or not it's skewed, you would have to ask other folks who know me and have interacted with me to give the testimony of how much, you know, they have or would have doubted me, and then through experience have come to see certain things or experience certain things that changes their perspective.
So you would disagree that we're colored by our experiences, that we're affected in
No,
some way?
I'm
that we're
saying,
changed? I mean, but
well, no, you made a very specific statement. You said, wouldn't you agree that all of us are skewed in our perspective?
Right.
Yeah, in the sense that it was like equalized. And I mean, we could argue that nobody has the whole truth. So if you want to claim that not having the whole truth is a skewed perspective, then yeah, we probably all have that. Then there's levels to it. But yes, of course, up to a certain point before you start to do self-work, in quotes, I guess, yeah, your whole experience is driving while looking in the rearview mirror. You can't even have an authentic experience in the moment and see life on life's terms or self as self, because your whole experience is tainted by your past experience. That gives you an overlay of thinking you know what a man or woman is, how a relationship works, how life works, how money and value works, all the rest of it, you know? So yeah, that is part of the...
I'm just sort of trying to get to know you for myself, and also if there are these things out there that you asked me to throw out that I'd heard about you.
You don't have to keep, again, I don't know if I'm totally into it.
That's cool. I can't read all these comments on the side. Sorry, I can't read all
you don't have to read those comments. Don't focus on it. Just focus on what me and you are talking about, because they're, you know, half of them are going to go and do what they always do, loop in their insanity.
Okay, so they said you were unemployed.
How could that be the case?
I don't know.
Again. Oh no. Oh, okay. No, you know what? They're right. I am unemployed. I don't have income. I don't have revenue. I don't punch a clock. I don't have a daddy boss. I do a broadcast 7 days a week, 3 hours a day. I have all the value I need and then some. And that's all the information anybody would need on that, because anything that I do in the private, as you can see down there. Friends and family, etc. Gifts and value for value. So I'm not officially employed. I mind my own busyness.
Well, I can't ask other questions. A lot of questions I have are like...
You should go ask Auntie Leslie. You should go ask Auntie Leslie about that. She can help you out with the folks who are hating and jealous and envious, who say that I'm poor and broke, when just one being that we know of in the last 6 months offered 100 stacks to invest with me.
Invest with you on what? Your show?
No. Again, this is private affairs. I'm just speaking about authentically the experience that can be manifested when you live into your purpose. When I first started this on an Android phone from a truck, living in a tent, my father said, how are you going to make a living? You got to sell a product or a service. I said, I don't know. I'm not concerned with that. The spirit told me essentially, or compelled me to come on and speak about conscious awareness, legal and lawful, philosophy, and a whole host of other things. Through that process, I've done better and better than I ever did before. So that's proof positive to me of manifestation and faith, that you'll do better and be better if you move into your purpose and what you're good at and get better at it. And if you see value in it and get value from it.
You were talking about self-actualization. Do you feel like you've reached that, or do you feel like you're going to reach it, or it can never be attained?
Process. So I think that I'm more self-actualized and realized than the majority of folks that I've interacted with. but there are other folks who I'm aware of who are doing that process and have done that process. But yes, when I look at my friends and family, majority of folks I've interacted with, I would characterize them as not self-actualized and realized. They're living in someone else's life and lifestyle and purpose, not their own. And they're not completely authentic with themselves and others and their partners.
Yes, I agree. I agree about that and of people in general and of myself. And that's why we're constantly working on ourselves to call out that cognitive dissonance and the lies that we keep alive that keep us from
it's more of a
achieving our
practice.
goals.
It's
Yeah,
more of a
it
practice
is.
after a certain point, because when you start to be in alignment and you start to see things come forth and you start to reach conversations that reach understanding and reconciliation, you know that you're in alignment and you know you're in a movement, and there's no more self-doubt. So is the actualization or realization complete? No, but you have true enough. You know what you need to know, and you know essentially what you need to do with it. So the actualization or realization comes when you actualize the understanding and realize it by putting it into action more and more each day and using it as a practice.
And listen to your body too. It's a cyclical thing. This is just my side
Sure.
comment.
It all works together.
Are you familiar with Maslow's hierarchy of needs? Because that's where the
Absolutely.
self-actualization term comes. When I read about that, it says self-actualization is actually at the top of the pyramid, the very tip, and that barely anybody can attain that level.
It's not that barely anybody can attain it. It's that barely anybody.
That's what I read about it in a textbook.
It's not that barely anybody can attain it. It's barely anybody will attain it, because they will not exemplify the will that is necessary to attain it. That has been evident in all of my interactions with the folks on here who embody that state of beingness of unactualized and unrealized. So it's not that they can, it's that they won't, because their fear is bigger than their faith.
Based on people saying that you're jealous of flow state and others, why do you think they say that?
I would have no idea. Flow state doesn't do or have or create anything that I would be jealous or envious of. I contend it's exactly the opposite. It's more projection. He's poor and broke. He's poor and broke. He just got fired from his job. Every woman I've interacted with personally says he's a creepy, unattractive being physically and spiritually. He doesn't have an authentic relationship with that woman he's with, seemingly. I can't necessarily prove that. He's not a funny man. He's not an interesting man. He's not entertaining. He's not well-spoken. If you could point me to something that he would have that I would be jealous or envious of, I would listen. But if you turn that mirror around, he's got a list of things about me he would be jealous and envious of, because look at the results.
And the reason I asked that is because that was based on something that I've heard too. So I kind of was interested in hearing what you had to say
all these
about
things
it.
you heard from him and people around him who are enabling all these things you heard from him or people around him who are enabling their ego together and their falsely empowered codependence.
To be honest with you, Flo does not talk to me about you. We don't even really talk that much. So that's not true. Just wanted to throw that.
I just said it's folks, him or folks around him is what I've observed and experienced.
I heard you.
Right. So, I mean, again, as you being objective, I'm willing to be criticized or critiqued. What is it that flow state has or does or is living that I would be jealous or envious of?
People say that you're jealous of his looks.
His looks. Well, that's the thing, is they say I'm jealous of his looks because I'm so secure with myself at this point. I've come out in the open and said, I think flow state could be, or was at one time, a more physically attractive being than myself. I've also had it revealed to me that I tend to be insecure when it comes to my physical looks and attractiveness. Okay, but I'm secure with myself in pretty much all the other areas I spoke about. So, again, they're using my testimony of me trying to be honest and real with him and show good faith by saying that I see certain potential in him and I see certain ways where he would be deemed as more attractive to certain types of women.
I've never heard a woman call him creepy looking. I see him getting hit on all the time.
Again, you didn't just listen to what I just said. It's certain types
I'm
of
going
women.
back to something you said.
It's certain types of women. Did you ever question or look into the types of women he's getting hit on by?
No.
Of course not. So women are not all created equal, just like men aren't. So just because a woman gets hit on 1,000 times a week by men doesn't mean they're men of higher value. They could be very low value men who she's getting hit on because they perceive her as equally low value.
How I'm just taking in what you're saying.
There's no woman who's attractive, successful, has options, is doing well in life, who's going to hit on flow state. He has nothing to offer.
Okay.
Again, beta male females will, who are only about physical attraction because they see the predator in him and it activates their victim state of beingness. I watched it with him. I watched it with Talcott even. And Talcott doesn't even have that vibe when it comes to women. It's the same women who show up at all these places, the same women who shows up at Illuma Tommy's. These are broken women who didn't have a father figure who was successful, and they're activated sexually, physically with somebody who has a predatory state of beingness. It's called a narcissism victim twist. And if you get into the background of all these women, I would bet anything that what I just said is 8 out of 10.
So looking at the chat room in here, myself included, do you think all of us are broken women?
I think that there's a good number of women who show tendencies of what I just spoke about here, yes.
Sorry, I just find that funny because a lot of them are fans.
Again, you presume that because someone's fanatical and wants to do idol worship of me as a being or personality means I'm not going to call it as I see it. Yes, many of the women who are in chat consistently and are seen the most have certain patterns and behaviors and attachment styles that lead me to believe that they're not actualized and realized or reconciled, and they're not real with themselves or others completely.
Look at these comments are crazy. I have to stop looking. You're right. You get hated on a lot. I feel like they were like, oh, go Lindsay, go up there and talk to him so that you could like tear me apart or something. I don't know, but you're not like that to me right now.
Yeah, there's always a double
all they
side.
do is throw negative shit out. You're so dumb. You're so stupid. This, that. It doesn't get it.
Yeah, that's the thing is again, this is part of what I mean is a woman will come forward and have a great interaction with me. And the same women who tried to play pussy power and go get on up there will start competing with her and tearing her down for daddy's affection. That's exactly the type of shit I'm talking about.
My God. What was the other thing I heard about you? Oh, just hypocritical. You already addressed that. I think we all are to an extent, and that's just because we all have similar faults and ways of being. And oh, great, here we go.
What happened? Flow State just showed up at her door. Get out here, Lindsay. I took my earrings off. You're going to get it for me. Your thoughts, broken system, broken trust so far. I'm rather enjoying this interaction. It's a bit revealing. This is like Paul Unslaved uncut behind the scenes. You know, more of a softer side of me. More relatable.
Yeah. I mean, this has definitely been interesting. I've been listening. I'm away from the phone because it has to be on a charger, just so you're aware. I put it in.
Look at my loser father down there. You want to talk about beta males? He came to me. I was like, what, 12 years old? He goes, it's the weirdest thing. All these women are gold diggers. I go, is it possible that you subconsciously have such low value and self-worth that they've picked up on what you embody, that you think your money and career is all your worth? Is that possible? And therein lies the projection. He still hasn't figured it out. And he's doing a bit non-bit, more of a non-bit than a bit, because this is how he lives. And he wonders why just 2 weeks ago, he called me and said, the woman who he's now living with, who worked her way in the house, you have to play landlord with her when I die, right? So they're not married. They don't have children. She's worked her way into my father's house. And now I'm going to have to like collect rent from that woman till she figures out how to like go find another man to suck off of and live off of. And he can't figure out why he has the same gold digging hoes with the same low self-worth, self-value, and self-respect who keep showing up in his life, because you're all one for one. You're meant for each other. If you would stop believing that your value and worth is in your money and career, you'd stop attracting goofy bitches who believe the same thing about you that you do. How would I know? I look into myself and I manifest the results and the experience. I didn't need to spend a motherfucking dollar on a woman in order to get them to see value in me and want to do all types of things for me and with me. That's the difference between us, Pop. You might want to learn. There's called pimping. Proper instruction motivates people. And then there's simping and tricking. And you're number 2 and 3, in case you didn't know. Go ahead, Lindsay. Lindsay, line 1. There he goes with his dysfunctional projection. All hoes. No, just the ones you fuck with. And the worst part is the ones you fuck with who are the broken hoes, they'll never be better because you can't get them to where they need to go. You didn't fix that broken hoe up in you. Therefore, you can't fix the broken hoe up in them. So keep projecting that every woman's a hoe because the ones you fuck with are, and you can't get them out of that to do and be something different because you don't have the blueprint and the program. You ain't daddy like that. You see? This is the irony. I'm half this motherfucker's age. He's supposed to be my father, and he ain't even daddy when it comes to the quintessence of what it means to be a man. Lead, guide, protect, reveal, just like God. God-like. This is why they say I have a grandiose delusion, because I believe man is made in the image of the Most High. We're here to be God-like. That means lead, guide, protect, reveal through understanding and truth, and your conversation better be on point. Because that's what makes a woman get the fuck up out of bed and move, is conversation and communication and confidence. And you don't have that. Trying to help. This really isn't a fucking venerate me session when I do this. I don't need to do that. I got the results on the ground. This is here to help others to see and live into the truth so they can manifest their destiny and stop this fucking lukewarm half-ass shit. It's embarrassing. Go ahead, Lindsay.
I'm kind of speechless right now. I'm kind of taking this all in. That's all the things that I can think of that people said about you, except for, I said delusions of grandeur, God complex. I went there. I don't want to be or to feel like you have to go any extra easy on me for any reason. Like, is there something?
I'm not feeling that.
Okay.
I appreciate you. You're being real with me. You're not being abrasive with me. You're going down the list of things you heard. You're trying to make it real and right one way or the other and try to understand what it's all about. I respect you and appreciate you for that, and I think it's good content. So I'm gonna manifest something that ain't there. I'm gonna start getting on you and making myself look like a fool for what? If I'm enjoying you in the conversation and I think there's value in it, I'm appreciative of it. And I think you're an attractive woman, right? So, of course, I know that that's going to be a thing with the chimpanzees, right? It's already getting them all hot and bothered and riled up.
Is that what it is?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think there's a certain energy that starts to happen in the room and in the chat when I start rapping with a woman who is viewed to some people as an attractive woman physically or otherwise. They start getting, they're like cucked out. They're like watching and they're wanting to it's a family broadcast. Let me not get too rude and crude and lewd here. I was going to say something and bring in some imagery, but not necessary. I think you know where I was going.
No, I'm enjoying the fact that I can keep it real with you too. And that one thing, if I get to know you better somehow, I'm on here a little more. It's kind of impossible to really get to know somebody online, but I would want the same brutal, truthful honesty from you for me so that I could improve myself.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the process of dealing with me or working with me, you know, in a relationship or not. Ask anybody. When folks
I've
get up
seen
on
you
the
do that.
panel with me,
Yeah.
yeah, when folks get up on the panel with me over the course of weeks and months or years, shit's going to come out in the wash. People are going to say and do things, and I'm just going to give my perspective. And if you see value in it, you take it. If not, leave it where I left it.
Well,
You know, that's been the theme.
I've never met BSBT in my life, but just going by his voice and the things I observed from the things he said, I think you were brutal, but I also think you were honest. And that's what's often missing from things is the brutal honesty, because it's too hard to take. But that's what we all need, I think.
Right.
So
And
that's
now
one
you're
reason why I was
and now you realize you're revealing the solution to every problem contains its own solution. So precisely what you just spoke is exactly the process I've been doing with Slow State and the rest of the beta males. And instead of them be forged in the fire to do better and be better and take the value in the criticism, they got in their feelers and acted like a bunch of broken hoes and went to player hating on me because they're jealous and envious. It's just what it is. We've seen this pattern over and over again, right? So this is why I say I get further with women talking truth and in reality than I do with these hoes, these male hoes who get in their feelings quicker. They think I'm white knighting when I say that. I could get further in an hour with the average woman, despite what she believes. She'll say, what about this? What about this? An hour in, we're right here. We're linked up. We got an understanding. These bitch ass beta males take 6 months, 6 years, 6 lifetimes to get it together, to get synced up and to get on a movement. It's incredible. You know, so again, this just proves that men are more egoic in a sense on the whole, because they will defend some nonsense to the end. If you just put up with a woman and you establish the understanding and the credibility, they will see the vision and move on it. They know this in the streets. That's why they say you could trust a bitch more than you could trust your own homeboys. They'll be ratting and snitching on you. That woman will be bringing you product to the visiting room.
No, I don't think you should trust anyone. Maybe on a
You gotta trust. All we do in life is trust. Life is trust. And
like you would trust your best friend more than you'd trust me, you know?
Not necessarily. That's the thing. Not necessarily. It's conditional. It's conditional. You presume that I do the best friend game. I don't play favorites. We're all on equal playing field, and it's a long game.
I need to give you an example. Someone you've been around for 10 years straight, and you know very well, and you get along with well. I'm assuming you would trust that person more than you would trust a stranger like me. That's all I'm trying to say. Not trying to play semantics or how you feel about best.
Well, that's obvious, right? That's obvious. I'm not going to bump into someone and go, I trust you for no reason more than I trust somebody who's battle tested. But the point is, I can meet a woman. We could be doing whatever we're doing a year in. She could get locked up, you know, stand tall, not say nothing because they want to do whatever with me for rights, freedom, and principles or past shit, you know?
I have a theory about it. I have a theory about it. You want to call it BS or not? You want to hear it?
Go
about
ahead.
you, Flo, and Illumitami. My theory on that, even though I don't know two of you very well, was that you're all very alpha male, ego solid, and so that's why you butt heads for the most parts.
I don't see how you see those other two gentlemen as quote unquote alpha male.
They see themselves as alpha. They act the
They see
part.
themselves as that. No one else does.
So in your mind, if you are A, then you are A.
No, that's not how that works. When the people
Your
and the
personality types
when
clash.
the people and the force and the value shows up consistently, then you got the verification of what you validated inside. If that doesn't happen, then you're delusional. The same thing they said about me. They have delusions of grandeur. Nobody, their own women don't deem them as respectable and alpha. That's clear by their body language, if not what they say. So they fashion themselves in their own mind, legends in their own mind as alpha, and they have no proof of that anywhere on panels, in life. They have no results of that. Nobody looks to them for leadership and guidance and protection. Quite the opposite.
People show up in their lives. Isn't that?
No, you presume that all people are equal because 1,000 people show up here, 1,000 people show up there. It's an equal experience. Not necessarily. If you want to talk about troops, within their troop, they see themselves as an alpha, and a bunch of other broken betas see them as an alpha amongst betas. That might be the case. But when we go objective and we take the facts of the matter and check the record, it's clear. We don't need in our own mind. The record is there. The facts are clear. You can't fudge the numbers.
Maybe we're disagreeing on the term alpha then, because I'm not talking in Darwinian terms. I'm not a huge Darwin fan, and I don't want to, make my life be according to his whims and his theories. What I'm talking about when I say alpha male is a particular personality type, somebody who is assertive, confident, usually
you see slow state as assertive and confident?
Yes.
You're bizarre. This is what I mean. This is the part of you that you have to go back and talk with your daddy and figure all that out. He's the furthest thing from competent, capable, assertive, and confident. I just told you that yesterday. Go back and watch it. His boss, who also doesn't have any of those qualities, who he had to hire him, fired him because he's incompetent, not capable, not sure of himself, and confident in himself and his work, and he's a failure. So you got duped and played again. This is what I mean. When I said that they think I'm jealous of flow state because I know that he's going to get a certain percentage of women who I may be physically attracted to. I let them go because they're not meant for me. They're meant to be with him. The fact that you could look at him and think he's competent, capable, confident, and assertive is beyond bizarre to me when it comes to discernment. It's quite the opposite. He's insecure. He's infatuated. He's constantly projecting. He's incompetent, incapable, and he's not a good conversationalist. And he does not do well when it comes to self-awareness or awareness of others. So he's the furthest thing from a man of high value. He's a man of very low value. His past and present indicates that.
You seem kind of triggered by him. That's all.
I'm not triggered by it. I'm more frustrated that I'm constantly met with men and women who have so little discernment. They keep getting themselves caught up with people who they wind up not respecting, and then they wind up not respecting themselves.
I really don't know. He would have to speak for himself.
Again, you really don't know, but I just told you, and you're not accept. This is what I mean. You won't accept for some reason what that man's boss, his buddy, who also, go back and watch it, doesn't embody any of the qualities you just talked about. So the man who hired him doesn't have those qualities, and even he had to fire him because he doesn't have those qualities.
Are you talking about when he worked for the bank?
But you're going to now sit here and tell me I'm triggered because of what you perceive. You don't understand how much work I have to consistently.
You get angry.
Again, you're presuming I'm angry. You're presuming I'm angry.
Your face is kind of red. You sound frustrated, at least.
I said I'm frustrated by the fact that I have to do so much work, not only with myself, but through conversation with others to get them back to a point of seeing clearly because they're so distorted. Like you said, you already stated you believe you have a skewed perspective, and all of us do too. No, we don't. Some of us live in reality. We take the facts of the matter and what history shows over and over again, and we're pretty intuitive and empathic too, so we can read between the lines.
It's my personal belief that people are delusional to an extent on a continuum, that people are broken, or however you want to put it, that because of our experiences and challenges and trauma, etc., that we cannot possibly be objective. And that's all I mean by your view is skewed.
Okay, so where do you get where do you draw your conclusion that flow state is assertive and confident?
I'm not going to talk to him about him anymore because it seems.
No, I'm just curious for my own understanding. I know I seem very triggered by it. That's a really good passive aggressive power game. So could you just go ahead and tell us why your personal discernment
Sure.
is that flow state is confident and assertive and capable?
Sure. He is confident on many different topics and his knowledge about many different topics. And he will say when he's not, he's not an expert in it. And he is pretty damn smart when you listen to him and what he has to say about it, particularly finances. And he comes across.
Do you realize you just said something that makes absolutely no sense? So you feel that he's competent and capable and very smart compared to who? Maybe to you. But that's, again, a relative scale. So that's your perception, but on an objective scale of understanding, how could he be intelligent when it comes to finances when he's poor and broke and can't even keep a job and is renting a house to not own it? That's the dumbest thing you can do, is rent a house to not own it.
So I'm up here to defend Flo? I don't think so.
No,
I'm
that's the
talking about
thing.
his
It's not
conversation.
about him. It's about you just told me before you wanted my unfiltered, unadulterated critique and not to hold any punches. I'm not even punching on you.
No,
I'm just
but
pointing.
we disagree.
I'm questioning what you said.
I'm trying to answer. You interrupted me.
Can I finish? I'm questioning what you said. I'm taking your facts and I'm showing them back to you to be ridiculous on the face of it.
Okay. And you can do that. So let me continue on, because I'm already starting to see the logic fail in this. I was going to say that he projects that confidence.
Right. He's a projector, false strength. He projects false confidence and false strength, and broads like you eat it right up and think it's real. Then it's only 5 years into a relationship, you realize he's going nowhere fast, and you wasted another 5 years thinking a beta male was confident, capable, and assertive, who can't keep a job and is renting a house and can't afford to own it because he's got horrible credit and he can't pay the VIG. So he's a genius when it comes to finances, let me tell you.
You are a little mad. I'm sorry.
I'm not mad. That's the thing.
Not?
I'm passionate about truth. I'm frustrated with how many folks get duped and deluded and fall into traps to their own detriment. I care about all of us and us getting it together. I'm not mad at you or Slow State. I have no reason to be mad at you or Slow State. I think it's a completely ridiculous thing that you just put forth. And I think you even realized after I held the mirror up how ridiculous it was. So it was an appeal to your emotion, not to the authority of the truth of the matter. And that's my point. I'm doing a seminar right now, live time, on how women get pulled in with their emotions and feelings to guys who are gaslighters and manipulators and predators and groomers, what he projected onto me, by projecting false confidence and false strength, but not having anything to stand on behind it. That's how they get their women. So should I not be upset that predatory men are duping a whole generation of women out of their livelihood and destiny? Should I be another beta male who's lukewarm and half-assed and not be passionate like a father would be about truth to get you and the others right? To stop failing yourselves and each other and to help get him right so he can stop lying to himself and the rest of you? I know I'm such a bad man.
I personally didn't say that you're a bad man.
I know what you were saying. I'm trying to reveal to you the idea of how when any woman starts to interact with me, it's a fine line between them thinking I'm narcissistic and egoic, between me revealing to them how their emotions have failed them. What they prize so much has failed them over and over again. And it's going to take a man with logic to check those emotions so we can come to an understanding.
You could do the same thing with a man too, because a lot of men are delusional. But what I was going to tell you about what you had to say before about what kind of men women tend to like. Women tend to like bad boys, and they ignore the red alerts.
No. You're speaking for all women now. Yes. That is you.
But you were overgeneralizing.
No. Now I have to mute you because you're speaking about you and your dysfunction. And now it's coming forward. You are only attracted to slow state because he knows how to put an earring in his ear, put his hat backwards, put a leather jacket on, and show that he's a bad boy. He's a very nice, good boy. He's just manipulative and predatory. He's not a bad boy. That's the thing. See, the truest bad boy nowadays is a virtuous man. I'm a bad boy because I'm considered an outlaw for upholding God's law and not following man's law. He follows the dictates of other men all day, every day. So you got duped and deluded again. Because when you go to look for that bad boy that you're dysfunctionally attracted to, trauma bonding, you're going to find a nice, sweet boy named Taylor who dresses up in earrings like his mama and follows the dictates of other beta males all day, every day. See, I'm the best of both worlds, and I've come to realize that. I'm a righteous, authentic, true, virtuous man with an ethic and a logic and a morality, and I'm considered an outlaw, which, as you say, is very attractive to real women, not beta girls who want James Dean on a licensed, registered bike because he's got his hair slicked back and knows how to go get a leather jacket. It's duped, deception, and delusion. Okay? But I'm glad that you revealed what you think all women are attracted to. There are real women just like me who are about logic, morals, and ethics, and I'm their best version of a bad boy because I don't deceive. I'm not predatory. I care for animals and children more than the rest of these clowns, and I'm willing to put my life on the line to secure it. If they're not, then you tricked yourself out of position by getting with a man who projected false strike but don't stand for nothing and doesn't really care about you. Good luck with your bad boy. They're going to do a number on your ego by the end of it. Your thoughts, Lindsay?
Yeah, am I unmuted now? Can you hear me?
Absolutely.
My
also,
thoughts.
remember, I'm doing a lot of this monologuing for the benefit of others watching. So, go ahead.
Okay, good. Yeah, I think there might be a mistaken assumption that I'm going for him or that I want to be his girlfriend. He has
No, I was making that. I'm making that presumption for the benefit of the audience and the energy of the this versus that, right? We've unofficially done the Pauly boy versus flow state thing, so I've leaned into it. And I've done the presumption that, essentially you're saying that you're for a bad, because again, I'm calling it out. What you're saying is true. We observe it to be true with women, and it's a subconscious thing. And then I'm directing that idea toward the difference.
It's good, right, or smart, or that I condone it, or that I recommend it in any way. I'm calling attention to the fact that women in general like bad boys. I'm agreeing with you that there's a disconnect between the way the guy actually lives and what he says and what he does. I'm pretty much legitimizing your claim about...
No, I know that. But in a way, it almost benefits us for you to take up for him and to hold him up as the ladies' man that he... Right, he's a friend. So I'm leaning into the idea that because you're his friend, that you see things in him that you think are markers of attractors for a woman. That's essentially been the indirect dynamic. And I'm not competing with him for your affection in a sense. I'm showing you the differences between how I live and what I contend to be true about men and women. And I'm using him as an on the clock, on the job example of all the things the beta males do and say that are in discrepancy, right?
That is clear to me, and I don't think you're trying to do anything, there's no stealing, or there's no, oh, he's talking to Lindsay or this or that. There's nothing going on. So I don't even know why you would mention that. All I'm trying to do is get your take on things, but I definitely noticed the awkward situation where flow is constantly in our conversations.
Again, you're doing, this is kind of a bit disingenuous of you because you're his friend. Mm-hmm. You're wanting to keep him out of the discussion while also bringing him in directly and indirectly, when he just did a 3-hour broadcast yesterday all about me and making all these claims about me, of which you're here to address. So you're here to address. Hello? No. You're here. Yes. You're here to address a whole bunch of claims he's been making for 6 months that have gone around the arena, so much so you have a list of them. So to not bring him into the discussion would be disingenuous because he's the source of all the things you seem to know about me that's come secondhand.
I disagree
So
with
he
that.
has to be in the conversation.
Look, I'm
You
telling
see?
you the truth. And if you say that
I
I'm
get
not,
that.
what can I do? What can I do?
Again, I'm not saying you're not telling the truth. I'm saying you either are not seeing what I'm saying, or you don't know the experience and the history, or you're not being completely real about what the dynamic is. Right?
I think part of the thing that you fail to understand because we don't know each other well is probably a personal flaw. I'm not really sure how you would look at it. What I try to do, even with people that bug me, like Snafu, he's kind of bugging me today. What I try to do is look for something admirable or redeeming in a person.
I don't want that. Don't do that with me. I don't want that. Don't do it with me. Do it with the rest of the beta males who need that. I don't need that. What I need is the off.
I'm talking about women too. I'm not talking about romance, anything. The way I see people, what I try to do. Because I don't view anyone as perfect or me being better than anyone, like you said.
I didn't say that.
I'm trying to be clear. I'm not saying you said it. I'm just trying to tell you how I think of it. If I, even the people that I don't necessarily like or that don't like me, I try to see good things in. And this is because we share the same spaces. Doesn't mean I like them. But you're calling that bullshit? I'm just trying to figure out how to get along with people while being honest and forgiving them their weaknesses, just like I would want the same from them, right?
Sure. Again, I mean, you know, we almost have to abandon this idea of getting along if we're seeking radical authenticity. If you seek radical authenticity, you will offend people the majority of the time, it seems. That's what I've learned. So you cannot be truthful and fail to offend. So one seems to have to go, right? You could be as tactful as you'd like. You could be as pleasant delivering the truth as you like. The truth still hurts to folks who live a lie. So I've almost completely abandoned this idea of tiptoeing around other people's triggers and trying to see the best in them. No, we're oneself. I know the best in you because I know the best in me. Now let's talk about the failings and the weaknesses, because once we tighten those up, the rest is history. See, this is the opposing view of what I believe needs to happen. We don't need to get in the room and see the best in each other. We need to get in the room and call out the worst in ourselves and each other so we can reconcile it and do and be better.
That's where we disagree. And it's because of this. It's because of
we don't disagree.
platform. You're
incorrect. And this is a philosophy I've heard over and over again, and it doesn't work.
I'm talking about this. I'm trying to segue a little bit and tell you that this platform is going to be a certain way, and that it has negative aspects to it that make it so that we can't be as truthful as we want to be. And it also makes it so that people automatically hate you. And they say all this shit about you. And
again, that's an issue for you, not me. That's an issue for you.
But it's an issue for you too.
That's an issue for you, not me, because you just verified you care equal, if not more, about what other people think and feel with you or about you than you do about what you know to be true.
Let me play devil's advocate with you then. You asked me to come in here with a bunch of stuff that other people said about you. First of all, you said you didn't want drama. And second of all, you said that you don't want to, engage in this.
I didn't say that I didn't want drama. I'm aware that drama is always a possibility to come forth. Please don't tell me what I said. I know what I said. I said I'm not going to manufacture drama inauthentically, inorganically. That's what I said. Does that mean that I don't want it or I'm averse to it? No. I take life on life's terms. If drama starts to come about, as you say, well, then we deal with it when we cross that bridge. But I'm not going to directly manipulate that and manifest that and create that if it's not authentically happening. That's what I said. That was what my sentiment was as well.
We disagree on a lot of things. That's all I can say. And then you said, no, we're not disagreeing. You're wrong. So I don't know how I can have a
We
conversation.
disagree because you appeal to your emotions and I appeal to logic and the facts of the matter that can be demonstrated and discerned. I have a lot of disagreements with other folks because they use their feelers as a guide and they're not a good guide for the truth.
All decisions are shown neurologically to contain both logical and emotional components, no matter how small or how large. And if you want a resource, I can give you a resource. So
I don't need the appeal to authority. Appeal to authority always comes with appeal to emotion. They're logical fallacies. So you just verified my first understanding, because one thing we've experienced here consistently is for folks who appeal to emotion, their second appeal is to logic. They have a source for me. I don't need a written down peer-reviewed source. I am the source. I am that am. Consciousness and awareness, observing oneself and other selves as oneself.
That's where the delusions of grandeur comes in that people accuse you
No,
of.
that's not where the delusions of grandeur comes in. That's where your mind and heart control comes in, because you seem to think someone else's peer-reviewed study is implicitly more valuable than my firsthand experience and demonstrable, repeatable explanation and definition. It's an arrogance and an ignorance that you suffer from, and you all keep projecting it onto me.
I trust a neurologist over you.
Again, you trust a neurologist. Thank you. You just put your nail in your coffin. You trust a neurologist. You implicitly trust a neurologist. You implicitly, broken hoe. See, now you're getting what you asked for, and I didn't manufacture it. It's authentic. See, I wasn't against the drama and the realism. I wasn't just going to make it if it wasn't there. Well, now you showed it. Broken hoe syndrome is appeal to emotion, appeal to authority. So you will always implicitly trust an inauthentic corporate beta male because of his status and title more than you will trust a real man on the ground with the first-hand experience, report, and results. That is our problem. Thank you for, not our problem, that is your problem, because you will never have a co-creational experience with a man like me, and this is where you say you don't want it, get in your ego. You will always keep co-creating with beta males like the ones that you implicitly trust because you are addicted and attracted to the status and title, not the truth, not the firsthand authentic felt experience. So, I mean, we're good to go. I think we all got what we needed. You know, those people in chat who were looking for me to do whatever I do, we did it. So, you know, feel free to call me a God complex, delusions of grandeur. Feel free to call me egoic narcissist and all the rest of it, while you appeal to your emotions like a narcissist and appeal to authority like a control freak and authoritarian. See, that is the definition of narcissism. You folks are all suffering from it, and you keep projecting it onto me. And it's evident in your answers, the way you answer things and what the root of your beingness reports. This is why you all got duped and deluded the past 3 years out of your rights, freedom, principles, and faith. And you implicitly trusted your authoritarians because your feelers were always so on par. You trusted your feelers and the authorities, and they fucked you out of your reproductive rights. Okay? Because we know what that, we're not going to get into it. They fucked you spiritually and physically and biologically. And that's what you want. Broken hoes like you want to get fucked all day, every day by beta male authoritarians who project false strength and competence and capability when the root of them is an empty suit husk of a former self. It's called a golem, right? We got everything we needed. Cut, wrap, lights, camera, the whole deal. Yeah, we got it. We got the shot. Go ahead, Lindsay, if you want to respond. I'm really good at what I do. And again, feel free to take all the things they said about me, make it real and true for you, learn nothing here from what I put forth, and go off, fly free, and have an amazing life with amazing results immediately. And feel free to trust all the folks who have the status, title, and project the false strength, competence, and capability. They're going to get you far because they really care about you. Expert panel, if Lindsay doesn't want to comment, your thoughts in general?
Paul, I'd like to comment a little bit, yeah.
Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I'm not hating on flow state, okay? He's got some things going for him, of course, but a lot of things that are wrong. And I would say to, like, you know, what you were saying earlier about women being attracted to him.
Jack Talcott's pissed. Sorry, he broke in there.
That's fine. Like, what kind of man? Hold on, Snafu. What kind of man would go on a barcast with Mel and ask the witty witch that if she eats babies or kills them? Like, the thought process. And then you also got him. Yeah, you also got him nonstop talking about the shake thing, and he's making so many sexual things about it, and you know, wording it so it doesn't, you know, flag him or anything like that, and also asking, you know, people to measure his, you know, thing and his penis and all that.
No one knows what you're talking about. You're losing the whole audience. You're bringing up something that's like an inside story joke, and we're not in on it.
How about we just be like this, Lindsay? Do you support
See this? Okay, this is what I meant. Like what I just did with Lindsay is what I consider to be A1 content when it comes to philosophy, psychology, sociology. I just may be wrong and delusional, but I have to speak with authority on what my experience is and where it goes for me. Right? That's all I know. That's all I have. So she can just say, hey, he is all those things. He's delusional. He has a belief. But when I said I'm not going to manufacture drama or play into it, this is what I meant. Where you two come up here and start telling me about every other thing that's happened on Slow States panel and everywhere else. I don't care. Right? I'm into the one-on-one discussion of who and what we are, what our root beingness is in consciousness, and where we need to go based on what I say that I know. That's my trip. That's what gets me excited, so to speak. I don't know what to make of that, you know, when it comes to folks viewing it. But if they enjoy it and get patterns, habits, themes over and over again, and then we just speak on it, and then the being either goes, you know what, I see some of that, I feel some of that, let me move into that, or they go, you're crazy, you're a cult leader, you're a groomer, you're narcissistic and egoic, we're out of here. Pretty much one for one what we experience here. So yeah, I don't necessarily care about everything that happened on Slow States panel and everywhere else and what they're all saying. No. It doesn't matter to me. We just had a whole interaction, me and this woman, Lindsay. I want to commend her for coming up and showing courage. She's still outcompeted and outranked all the other beta males who won't come here and address shit to me face to face. So she gets respect. She gets props for that. She's allowed me to do what I do. She hasn't got combative with me. And she's going to make up her own mind along with the people. So, you know, yeah, take it for what it is, I guess. But that's like what I was looking for when I said expert panel comments on like the interaction we just had, the generalized discussion and what it was about.
The interaction she had was basically questioning like co-state, like a Fed. She just didn't ask about your finances.
I asked her to do that. I asked her to do that. Then let's be clear.
Well, I know. I know. My question for her though is do you, when did you join the Me Too movement? When did you join the Me Too movement, Lindsay?
All right, now I have to.
Also, come on, that has nothing to do with it. That has nothing to do with it.
Obviously, your pal, Flo, is a pedo supporter. You cool with that?
You have no proof of that. You have no direct. This is why I hate you.
Absolutely.
Like I do love you, but I also, it's a very love-hate relationship. Accent on the hate at this point. Emphasis on the hate, right? Because you're forcing me to defend Flow State out of the honor of what's true. And I don't like the fact that you force me into that space, right? So you have no firsthand proof of him doing anything with children or supporting it directly that I know of. If you do, you better present it here today or stop saying that in front of me, because it would make me dishonorable to continue to enable you, whether I like him and respect him or not, to say things that are untrue, that I suspect you know are not completely true. Okay? So let's ease up on that. I've told you about that a fucking 1,000 times already with like a dozen different people at least. I'm not a fan of it. Doesn't go anywhere. It's not helpful.
We have the proof. He knows. Flo knows.
Okay, well, if you got the proof, then you better put it out there and make it available for everyone. I want firsthand concrete proof. I want pictures of him with the children in the kiddie pool. If you show me a fucking article where 3 other people said someone said, it doesn't work for me. Okay? So like I know you want to be like the next Walter Cronkite. You're going to have to get your journalism skills up to par. Okay?
I think you're smart enough to see the optics of what happened with Mr. Pedograph and Flow State during that
I
whole
know
time.
you're just too smart. You're too smart for everyone. Every one of you guys, this is delusions of grandeur. Every one of these guys who's poor and broke, can't make a relationship work with a woman, right? I've brought at least 2 women up here who've dealt with me in the past that give a glowing report of a firsthand relationship with me, regardless of my faults, because I'll be the first one to point out how I was fucked up, still living in my trauma, still not stepping out into faith, and not leading how I was supposed to. That's a whole other discussion. They still give a glowing report about my discernment and my willingness to love and care beyond my dysfunction and never to be aggressive or violent toward them or anything of that nature. You, all you beta males, are on no contact orders with your women. Don't see your fucking children. Don't have accountability, responsibility for them. And you were putting dick in so many women, shooting up the club because you got such a weak dick that not only do you put it in these women, you can't fuck them without busting up inside of them. Excuse me for being rude and crude and lewd, because you got no control of yourself on any level. Mind, heart, and dick control. That's the difference between me and you. I don't go to putting my dick in a woman, even if I'm in a relationship with them, unless I want to bring about children. Okay? You want to find your masculinity inside a woman's vagina by pumping it, right? And then a child comes about because you got weak dick. Weak mind, weak heart, weak dick, bad combo. Your thoughts, expert panel?
Yes, Paul. I have a question for you, actually. I wasn't trying to create any drama at all. I didn't come in for drama. I've been barely on panels, okay? All I'm saying to you is the question is also related to what you and Lindsay were talking about, isn't it awkward sometimes for somebody to think that way from a psychological point of view as a thought, to ask someone, like, do you eat children? Or, you know, sexual stuff that he does sometimes with women. That's what I was relating to in terms of women seeing him as, you know, like confident and successful, whatever that means to some other women. I don't see it that way. I'm not hating on Full State, and I'm not trying to bring any drama, I promise.
Yeah, we all have a demonic bent, you could argue. And these women have not looked at the dark parts of themselves in their life and their past and reconciled. So they're basically on a demonic bent and streak. And all the shit they see as normal or confident or capable is actually a form of dysfunction, I contend. Right? So, yeah, I mean, again, it's the eyes to see, ears to hear, heart to feel. If you don't have those, then you will regularly be drawn off course, neglecting your work and your understanding to try to complete with someone of the opposite sex. Someone who can't even drive their own train, let alone drive the train with you. Because again, a woman has to let a man lead and has to know he's competent and capable. If he's not that, she's going to try to lead. And then you're going to have the headbutting, right? Woman has to let a man be masculine and have faith and trust that he knows who and what he is and what he's doing, so she could be in that divine feminine. If the man does not complement that, she will be forced into the role of playing a man sometime, and it's not going to go well. But that's why I say, man, it starts with the man. It starts with the man being honest with themselves and everyone else. And it leads to the triggering conversations. And then that leads to the revelation of the truth of who and what we've been, who and what we are, and who and what we could be. Right. And again, it starts with the women realizing their feelers have misled them over and over again. If you're going to have a mate next time, you better screen this motherfucker on certain objective logic, morals, and ethics and principles. If you can't screen them objectively and pass that test, you got no business lying down with them. If you stop fucking these beta males, they'll start shooting for the moon and landing amongst the stars instead of shooting up inside of you and landing in family court. Your thoughts?
Was this an official grooming session today for Lindsay?
Potentially. Potentially. I mean, again, that's going to be dependent upon the characterization of others viewing it, who will set the narrative for other people listening to them. So potentially this was an amazing grooming session here.
Session one.
I mean, can't you tell how I've like love bombed, deceived, tried to manipulate, completely used my charm to overtake everybody and get them under my spell? It's like grooming 101 over here, huh?
The awkward silence.
The awkward silence is like my element. I love that. I'm cringe king, right? The awkward silence is when you recognize that there must be some truth or value going on. Because people wouldn't stay with that silence if there wasn't something before and after and in between.
I don't feel like I'm allowed to disagree here.
No, it's not that. I'm not. You're presuming that I'm attacking you by playing off of.
You
assume
you get me to shut up.
Because again, you don't seem to have the flow down, just like right there. I went to go to respond to what you just said, and you went to cut me off because you want to play man. You ain't the man of this house. Exactly what I was just speaking about. You don't have real men in your life, so you go to start playing man all the places where you should learn to yield. You were doing good. You were doing good with some stuff. You were stepping out, pussy power, keeping it real, holding me accountable. Nobody's above the program. So it's not about ego. But then it's, you want to be disagreeable. You want to think you know something. Everybody's voice is powerful and valuable, but you can't explain how you live and what you do and how it makes sense. So again, we're back to respect. It starts with self-respect. That means take a second look at. That's what the word means. Take a second look at your thoughts, emotions, actions, your beliefs, and figure out if they're real and true or if they're just yours, like they are everyone else's next to you. That's all it is. So when you throw something out, I'm going to throw something back. See, real women love that. That means they got a player, not a manipulator and deceiver, somebody who's on the field who has it on their heart, right? So when you throw something out, I throw something back. Either you want to disagree with me for the sake of disagreeing, or you want to test me on who and what I am and what I know. See, I love that. Go ahead and throw shit out. I'm going to throw something back. If you just want to be disagreeable to set me up to be the toxic masculine guy, well, go ahead and do it. Be on with you.
That would be gaslighting.
I love the disagreement if it's actually a genuine disagreement where you want to learn or know. If it's a disagreement just so you can have the sake of saying you got your beliefs and perspective and I got mine, you ain't going to get nowhere with that.
But that presupposes that your perspective on everything is great.
Right. That's what this is here. God of all media, ego, narcissistic. That's the hat they gave me. So I stepped out and wore it. It presupposes that I understand me. Therefore, I understand you. The majority of the public doesn't understand themselves. So they don't understand me or the truth. And yes, the presupposition is that I have that on some level, and you probably don't until you show me, and you haven't yet.
Well, you've shown me who you are, so
I know I'm on a level. I'm on a level all by myself, very low and beneath you and the rest of the folks who will continue to make the characterization. Didn't you presuppose that your belief was true, just like I did? Haven't you presupposed in everything that you've disagreed on that you have the answer and the knowledge just like I do? Or is it okay when you do it and not when I do it?
I'm going to go ahead and say you're right about everything. And
okay, so we're going to do more passive aggressive manipulation games because you're going to see the best in everyone,
because
right?
I can't talk. No, because I can't talk.
You can't talk.
Without being bombarded. Yeah.
Okay. Without being bombarded. Okay.
You can kick me off.
This is a common theme. This is a common theme, right? We've done this over and over again with you folks, victim folks who are attracted to narcissists. We've done this with you over and over again. You come in, you hold me accountable. I answer to everything. You go to getting disagreeable. Then when I throw something back at your disagreement, you say, I'm not allowed to disagree. And then when I keep going with my rap, you say, I don't let you talk. You haven't ever spoken and you're a victim. And now I'm the abuser. Amazing. It's one for one with all you folks right down the line. You all do the same nonsense. She comes in going, I don't want you to pull any punches. Give it to me strong, daddy, like you do with everyone else. When I keep it all the way real with her, she goes, I've been bombarded and I've been abused here. You haven't let me speak, when she did nothing but talk to me for an hour and have a back and forth. It's amazing how manipulative You broads are, and if you didn't have someone like me on the other end to check your nonsense, you just manipulate all the beta males exactly where you want them and need them. Bravo, sister. I respect you. Because your reverse pimp game, passive-aggressive manipulation that I've learned from you broads is like nothing else I've ever seen. I give you your flowers because you got a list of beta males in your phone who you got wrapped around your finger, but not this one.
You sure do assume a lot.
I do. I make a lot of assumptions and presumptions based off of the patterns and themes that I see present with individuals who are not as individual as they want to believe.
But who came here to figure out who you really are for herself?
Right. I don't believe that. Here, let me go the next level with my godlike complex. You'll love this one.
There's no winning.
No, Lindsay, check this one out. You'll love this one. I don't think you're capable in this moment of figuring out who and what I am and what I'm doing. I don't think that you're capable based on what I've heard and seen from you. The little I've heard and seen, I don't think you're capable of it. It may take another 3-6 months or a couple years, like with a lot of the folks who've come here.
Of course. Got to start somewhere.
Well, as long as you're down for the ride. See, that's promising. When you got a woman who lets me act up, do my rap, do my spiel, and says, well, you got to start somewhere. We'll see where this goes. That's promising. As long as she doesn't feel abused and deceived and manipulated and harmed, then we're good to go. We'll see where it all goes.
Personality is just to question people, just Socratic kind of questioning. And that people kind of take that as annoying sometimes, and some people don't.
I love it.
So that's trying to explain to you and get you used to my personality. And no, I don't think I'm superior. I'm not trying to be a man and boss you around. Anything stupid like that. I think there's some gaslighting going on. I just want to have a chill conversation. And if I get to glean something from it, some personal insight or some general insight, I like it. But I don't like it when I'm told, to shut up by being muted because I can't finish making my point. And just like you, I don't like to be interrupted and you don't like to be interrupted. So we have that in common, and you don't like to be disrespected and I don't.
Right. It's not a form of disrespect for me here because I have the burden of doing a broadcast and creating or giving content, even if it's me just acting out or triggering a bit. So if I go to the mute button, it may just be because I think that you're going to talk over me, or I just want a space to kind of lay something out that I'm seeing, and then we move forward. So it's just kind of a position I occupy. It doesn't make me better or more powerful than anyone, and I try not to misuse it or abuse it. That's subjective. You're going to have to make that determination for yourself.
I see a person who really knows how to manipulate. I see an intelligent person.
So you're looking in the mirror. Jimmy Shively, thank you for your contribution.
I'm not offended by that.
1 second, ma'am, please. I just told you that I have a broadcast to run, and I'm now talking to folks who are contributing, and you're talking over me. So thank you, Jimmy Shively, for your contribution. He says, keep shining, sir. Appreciate you. Kelly Knuckles says, appreciate you keeping it real. Thank you for your contribution. Eric, value for value. He says, thank you. Salute. Thank you for your contribution. George McElroy says, bravo, sir. Good job again. Thank you for your contribution, sir. Mr. George McElroy. You were saying, Lindsay?
I don't even remember.
Paul, I got cut off when I was asking you that question. I don't know if you got my question or not earlier. My phone just went kicked me out.
There's something about eating babies and more just shocking, controversial panel drama nonsense.
No, it's not even about the drama, Paul. I was adding to what you, Lindsay, were talking about because it adds to the personality of someone like Flow State, and I'm not hating on him again. I'm just pointing out some things that I see, like for me, troubling a little bit. When you're talking to a woman, say on a broadcast, right, and say that woman's into witchcraft or whatever, all of a sudden you ask her, for example, do you eat babies? And then do you have them in your house? Do you give them candy and stuff like that? And then also the other thing that he does sometimes, which for me also like does not give him credit in terms of being like somebody to look up to in terms of a ladies' man or anything like that, when he's always talking about sexual things or measuring his thing or whatever the case may be. And also, like the other day, he also asked. He had, I think, on Jack's. He asked his own girlfriend that if he was dead, would you sleep with Scott or Tommy? I don't think that's also for me. Just for me, I don't think that's also
I
appropriate.
love
to say that
how
to
in his grandiose delusion, he'd have to die in order for his woman to consider another man on earth to be attractive. Talk about revealing, right? These guys are so like insecure and unreconciled and not real with themselves, and their women aren't real with them. There's probably 10 guys on your block your woman's thought about fucking instead of you for the night. I mean, could you blame her? Go ahead, sir. I didn't mean to interrupt that.
No, you're fine. I mean, whatever the case may be,
whatever that people were committing.
Whatever the case may be, Paul, with that, that's his own thing. But I just think for me, to bring that out of you, when you put yourself so high up there in terms of you being very knowledgeable, a lot of things, respectful woman.
That's the thing. I don't put myself anywhere. I just speak from where I'm at, and then you make the determination. I'm going to speak with authority on what my firsthand experience and results show me. Why wouldn't I till I'm proven or shown to be incorrect? In which case, I will correct the record. Yeah, well, that's the thing. Again, so you're confusing me. This is so confusing. We've gone over this. We just did like 2 hours. We've done this before. It's not the first time we've done this breakdown, and it almost seems like you want me to loop more.
No. Like, we're done.
He's a deviant, tries to pretend he's not. I have a deviant in me, and I just readily show it like we all do. And then in my life, I direct myself to do what's true and what's right while putting light on the dark, taboo aspects of self to reconcile it. Because I just believe in that as an understanding that what you do not reconcile, the dark subconscious parts of yourself, will own you or take you down. When you make them seen and understood, they have less power over you. Doesn't mean you have to give into it or live into it completely. It just means seek reconciliation and understanding rather than condemnation and judgment. You'll get further.
I agree. And Paul, I wasn't trying to loop. I was just trying to bring that. I wasn't trying to bring any drama to the panel. I was just bringing that to the conversation you and Lindsay were having. That's all.
He's trying to clarify his stance.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah, that's it. And I'm not even hating on Flo. I still think Flo is smart in some ways and he's got some things going for him, but he's also got a lot of things he's got to work on. Because like one thing he would do, as soon as he gets a little bit cornered, sometimes he'll kick you out. He kicked me out 2 days ago because I asked him a question. I believe he kicked Lindsay out yesterday or something for a little bit because he got emotional about. And Lindsay was asking direct questions.
He's not a fan of accountability and responsibility. Another clue that he's not a competent, capable, confident, assertive man. He regularly shows deflection away from accountability and the responsibility of what the moment calls for. So this is nothing new, sir. I saw this 8 months ago. I've called it all out already. I keep having the same loops and themes with the same cast of characters come up over and over again for other people's benefit and clarification. They don't seem to see what I'm seeing till a year in. Then they come back to me one at a time and go, okay, now we see it. Now it came out completely in the open. I go, yeah, okay. How much do you need? And what does it all mean? Like, where does this go? I don't need to like be in a competition with these people. I'm not. Like, it's me versus me in my life. And I'm doing better in my life. If they can say the same, then we're all good. Really doesn't matter what I think about them or what they think about me. All that matters is the truth in between. Really. For every individual involved, including the audience. So, like, discerning the truth here should be of the utmost importance. Personality fucking competition and power struggle should be the least of it. Right?
I want to understand something. Are we up here for conversation, or are we up here because you have didactic messages to give to people? Like, are we doing a give and take and exchange of information, or is this like a didactic format?
It's a little bit of both in a sense, right? I essentially am making the egoic claim that I have an understanding that's been here from the beginning of time that I've come into alignment with, and I use certain people and situations when available to communicate those ideas. And a lot of it is...
A lot of it, yes, I'm listening.
A lot of it is repetitive at times. But the other side of it is, yes, I am open to a back and forth and conversation, but that means that the beings have to be open to me being in almost constant seeming disagreement with whatever they put forth and claiming to know more. That's an egoic. That's an egoic. It can seem like an egoic perspective. That's the role I play here. And then we see where it goes. It should be great entertainment because they're waiting for 2 or 3 years for me to fail or be wrong. And I don't think we've got there yet. Maybe I'm just so high on my own product that it's happened over and over and I haven't conceded to it. But all of my enemies have yet to bring anything before me. So that'd be my first clue. They make a lot of claims about me. What they don't claim is that I'm wrong or unintelligent or lacking in introspection or discernment. They never claim that. They just say I'm fat, I'm loud, I'm rude, I'm crude. They think I'm egoic and narcissistic because I won't yield to whatever it is they expect from me on my broadcast.
If it doesn't matter to you, then why are we even discussing it? If all the shitty things people say to you doesn't matter, even if I come up here and I bring up the topic or somebody, else who's new or something, why would you even give it the time of day?
Because there's truth to be gleaned and gained in each one of these repetitious, mundane, mediocre interactions that are purposeless and meaningless on the face of it. Beneath the meaninglessness and purposelessness is a one truth, a one way, a one life, a one law, it would seem to me. So,
what about epistemology, which argues that, there is no one truth. There's no one reality.
There's plenty of arguments out there. I'm just going on my firsthand experience, and I may have a confirmation bias. But I've had enough.
Yes, we all have them.
Again, you keep presuming what we all have and don't have, and I don't understand why.
Trying to normalize it.
I mean, again, I don't want to necessarily normalize or, there's no emotion involved in this. Again, it's like I will continue to presume that I'm right until I'm shown to be incorrect.
How often do you change your mind about a main perspective?
Over the course of how long?
A week.
Changing my mind used to happen a lot more often. Nowadays, not so much. More importantly, my mind is very rarely involved in any of these decision-making or these communications. I speak from the heart, if anything.
So you wouldn't say that you're open-minded, or would you?
I would say that I practice mindlessness the majority of my state of beingness at this time, because my mind, other than being used as a tool for analysis, which again can be flawed because, as you say, mind has certain qualities attached to ego. I pretty much practice, I guess you could call it, being mindless, not having any thoughts or intrusive or otherwise. I practice observing and reporting, and then making the connections with the observation that I'm reporting. So I look, I see, I look into myself. I know certain things are true about me, therefore I presume they're true about other selves, because there's only one consciousness and awareness here having a human experience. And then we piece together the in-betweens through the experience and conversation. And what I find to be true is that 9 out of 10 times, you'll get down to even the direct admission or revelation of where the truth is in each situation, if that makes sense. So that's why my understanding is there's only one self, because I've had enough conversations with enough people to lead them back to their true self and get them to reveal directly in their own words their failing in consciousness and awareness, where they've gone wrong or had a disconnect.
You can plant the seed, which I like. It's like you said, I told you a bunch of stuff. Now you can go think about it and do whatever you want, have a happy life. I get the gist of that statement, even though it was whatever. Kind of dismissive, but I like at least the fact that you can plant a seed in anyone that you speak to, and they're going to do what they want for sure. But to have at least to have the importance of planting that seed and getting them to think about something in a new way, or at least to get them, tell them something again, remind them of something they already know, may speed up the process, because it is a process. Major changes.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's what I call facilitation, right?
Yes, exactly.
Once you come to a certain space of presence and clarity and peace through confidence and faith of repeatable results with self and the universe, you become, in a sense, a facilitator of that for others, which is not really a teaching position. It's more of a reminder or a refocuser. Hey,
But you will be forever frustrated, you know? As a facilitator, you will be forever frustrated.
yeah, the frustration only, again, it's not frustration. What it is tension. The tension comes, as Slow State says, in the beginning, where what he sees is
we're
your
talking about this. You asked me not to bring him up.
I didn't ask you to not bring him up. That you said you're not going to bring him up. See, you're doing it now. Tension just rose again because you're playing a game with me, whether you're aware of it or not. I'm going to speak on my firsthand experience about what's relevant to me, especially if it's, new content, even if it's old content, so to speak. It's fresh in the mind. So let's not curate me and what I do and what I speak on. Just do that with you if you need that. You're taking away from what we're doing here by making it about Slow State or not. He is a character in our experience, just like all of them are. I regularly will pick a character, pull them off the shelf, and I will describe what goes on there. Please don't curate that process. It's not personal to him. We're all players on the stage. We're all characters. You could argue we all have our own faults or ways that we're not well received or are involved in a life or lifestyle that's not beneficial to oneself and others. So if he wants to do that process with me, he's free to do it. He does it all the time. I just contend he makes a fool of himself while doing it. They'll probably say the same thing about me. I'm not experiencing that. And if you check the record of what just went on today, you'll see the difference, by the way. There's ways to tell the difference of where the value and the power is versus where it's said that it is or shown. See, there's said and shown, and then there is.
We did agree on that.
Hold on, I have to thank someone else. Thank you, Christian D, for your contribution. He said, blessed New Year, Emmanuel. Thank you, sir. Go ahead, Lindsay. Take over.
You were talking about flow, so go ahead. You take over your show.
I don't remember. You had said something that sparked my interest.
Okay, one thing I'll just speak out of the blue. One thing that I was thinking of when I was talking to you: how much different, or would you be exactly the same? Let's say you and I went to a restaurant, had a hamburger. We had 2 hours to just sit there and talk. This is not a date. This is not a date. This is just
it absolutely is a date, but you tell yourself whatever you want.
Okay, myself is saying this is not a date. This is you getting to know somebody. And
once you get to know me is to love me. So it's a date officially, whether you know it or not. But again, whatever gets you through it, I know that this is shocking that you would even entertain having a meal with a gorilla animal like myself. So if you got to tell yourself it's not that to get through it, I don't fault you.
Okay, well, let's just get the dating scenario out of there.
Right.
Because I'm trying
We're sitting on a bench. How about that? We're at a bus stop.
Yes.
We're sitting on a bench.
Yes.
And go ahead, take it from there.
You and I are talking. How much of the things would you have said to me, and would you be the same exact way that you have been this whole time?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
This is not a character. This is not at all a character.
No, well, no. Paul Unslaved is a character, so this is a character because we do an entertainment broadcast. It's a bit animated. It's a bit more energized. It's a bit more focused on the truth, and the passion comes out in this venue more readily. But generally, the content, the information, the understanding, the perspective is going to be the same, give or take. The energy is probably going to be different, right? I'm probably not going to be doing broadcast energy necessarily at a bar or a club or a restaurant. Like, we're just going to have a back and forth, and I'm going to go, hold up, look, I stop you right there. Could I give you this? And you're going to take it, or we're going to, you know what I mean? Right. And yeah, so the energy may change because it's lights, camera, action, and you're doing a broadcast, and I'm passionate about the truth. So it all comes together to sort of create an energy or an inspiration. like I said, a passion that at times looks high energy, angry, abrasive, all the things. So yeah, that's pretty much all I could say when it comes to that. But no, you know, the information, the content, the understanding is pretty much one for one. I mean, nobody's that good. Like I said, I speak from the heart. So the information is what I live.
Do you have a lot
And
of
again,
information?
there's times where I may do the bitches and hoes thing a little bit more than I would, you know, out and about in polite company to kind of trigger. But I do that in my personal life too, you know, to the point where Jennifer's kind of caught on with it, kind of laughing and giggling. Well, you know, she'll go, you know, the goofy bitch or acting like a hoe, whatever. And it's kind of wink and a nod. But we get what we're saying and what we're talking about, right? But I know how to conduct myself. I know how to be likable and lovable. I know how to be all the things, right? When I come on the broadcast, it's something different. And I'm gambling too here. That's what you got to understand. I'm so passionate about the truth in this walk that I use this broadcast to almost show all the parts of me that are dark and negative, because I'm gambling with that value and everything else. I want what's real and true, what's meant for me, and I don't want the fake shit. So I use this place sometimes to jump out the window for ultra accountability and authenticity, and to entertain myself and others.
Why would you do that on a bus stop where we're waiting for a bus that's late to get there? Why would you be all about accountability and be the same as you are?
I didn't say that I wouldn't be, but at times I do things that are rude and crude and lewd that I wouldn't necessarily do in public, or, you know, It may be there. We may speak about it and know it. We may have an understanding, but I may not necessarily be pimping and macking, so to speak, and be putting on as much. You know? So when I come on here, I kind of let it fly. I kind of expound who and what I am and the character, and I kind of play a little bit, entertain, you know. But when we get down to the truth and the facts of the matter, there's always a passion for that there, right? I have a passion for a few things, I guess you could say, when I really look at it, you know. But nothing is the fire in me like it is for truth, so to speak, or the idea of conscious and awareness. So much so I've had to learn to rein it in my personal life, because passion will take you down. You got to know what to do and where and why and how, and you got to know what.
Contextually offensive too. You know, if you're going to call me a bitch, I'm not stuck on this. This is an example, or a hoe or whatever. On the bench waiting for the bus. That's, you know, not that's not
right.
really going to
So you
fly.
qualified it. You got no problem with me calling you a bitch and a hoe as long as we're in the bedroom alone. As long as we're in the bedroom alone together. But if we're on the bench, you don't want it. See, that's the thing. Like I said, I know what to do, when, why, and how. Because again, there's a subconscious there. You know, in every man there's a dog, and every woman there's a bitch. And if you get the right bitch with the right dog, she has no problem submitting and calling herself that, and understanding what she's submitting to is not necessarily a negative thing.
Well, these questions are all giving me answers, so it's good.
Yeah, we're just, again, that's why it's like taboo, dark sex play, bedroom talk. And
Yeah, I was going there too. I'm so glad you went there before me.
It could be a bit, I don't know if you were going there or not, but you know that I'll take it anywhere I want to go. I really don't care. But the reality of it is we're playing with the subconscious in a venue where we're dropping boundaries. It's the same way we take hallucinogens, and we may get more open and more free with the conversation. Sexuality is the same deal. It's a boundary dropper. So through the boundary dropper, you get a little bit more fly with the mouth. You start saying shit you wouldn't normally say, and you're working it out. You're dredging up the subconscious. You're playing with the character, you know. And this is what's so interesting about the psychology is you take a woman in the bedroom and they love that shit. You take them on the park bench and it's, oh, Paulie boy, you're so rude and crude and lewd. You know,
that's why I said about context.
Right, but this
throw her around in the bedroom, but not in the park bench. I mean, it's pretty common. It's common sense.
It's common, but it's not proper in the sense of understanding oneself. You're appealing to culture and society rather than the authenticity of the oneness of all of our experience. You know that woman across from you in the nice white dress and the makeup has a little hoe in her. Every woman, like they say, has a little bit of hoe in them, just enough to keep that man where he needs to be. So who are we playing with? Who are we lying for? Who are we putting on for? We may not do that just because we don't feel the need to do that, but we're not worried about it either. You may call me a whatever, an asshole or whatever. I may call you a bitch. And at the end of the day, there's love and respect and understanding. We're not demeaning each other. We're just calling it out for what it is, and we're not willing to act and play in front of the neighbors. You know,
If you did everything impetuously that you wanted to do because it was authentic to your personality, and me too, we would probably both be in jail. I mean, you just can't. Context matters.
That's a power couple. See, you're not feeling me, right? You want to take it to what you see as the negative and the dark from the evil aspect and just completely wrong.
No, I like devil's advocate. I like devil's advocate a little bit.
Right. So let's just be all the way real. You know, the reason why everybody watches Bonnie and Clyde is because regardless of what they did and where they ended up, they kept it so real with themselves and everyone else. They're a power couple. The average Joe on the block doesn't have that kind of relationship and authenticity to the bone. So you want to tell me about if we kept it all the way real, we wind up in jail together? That might be a stop you might have to go to find out what you and that relationship is made of. So again, am I advocating for that? Do I want it to end up there? No. Am I aware it might? Yes. Could that make or break a relationship if it's not authentic and based in some, binding principle or understanding? You know, this is what I'm saying. When you're a student of life and you really want to play the game and be on the field, you're open to everything that may come forth because you want to see what the real is. The real is what doesn't change. So we should be able to go to the top of the mountain, you know, the bottom of the valley, and everywhere in between, and have an understanding and be good.
Have an understanding that there's going to be consequences.
Isn't there consequences in everything? If you want to step out into authenticity and actualize and realize there's consequences, you're going to create a bunch of haters.
Yeah.
Everywhere you go, they're going to say, who's this guy think he is? Look at this motherfucker. He's so egoic, while they're doing egoic projections on you and making judgments. So, you know, that's just the game. When you love the game and you're in it for the authenticity and the completion, you don't give a fuck about the consequences as much as you do the reward, because there's a reward, right? A price and a final cost. You got to sacrifice or you become the sacrifice.
This is a poem that's an example exactly of what you're talking about. Do you like Bukowski?
In what sense? Like, what's the...
Bukowski has a poem called All the Way, and it's exactly what you're talking about right now. So I wanted to ask you to, if you will, I don't know if you're up for it, wanted to ask you to play it on YouTube on your own time, because it's exactly encapsulates what we're talking about right now.
Okay, so how about I read it? I'll bring it up and I'll read it. Is it long?
You don't have to. Yeah, it kind of is. You don't have to do anything. I just want you to.
I didn't say that I had to do it. I don't feel that I have to. I want to do it.
That's right. Rawr. Okay.
You don't want. I told you don't have to remind me. This is what ma'am. I'm sorry for you. This is what happens when you've been with one beta male after the next. Is you think that you now have to tell me what I can and can't do. I'm a man, sweetheart. I know what I can and can't do. I know what I will and won't do. Right. So if I tell you I'm bringing up Bukowski, no, that means you piqued my interest again. You're doing good. Don't ruin it. All right, where are we at? Go all the way. Woman's onto something. We're going to get down to it. I can feel it. There's something there. Circling the drain.
Actually, the music and the words is part of what make it really cool.
Okay, so you want the video.
It's the video.
You're not going to be happy with, so like I'm already into pleasing you and simping on you a little bit.
Really?
You're not going to be happy until I play that video with the music and everything else. She doesn't even want to answer. Broken system, broken trust. Your thoughts? He's just in the middle of this. Oh, you got to give me the link then. This is the one and only time I'll let you into my backstage area. I don't normally do this.
Yeah, I just feel awkward being in the middle of like this three-way thing.
You feel like a third wheel. We're already at dinner, me and Lindsay.
I'm just here observing, just making sure that nobody gets slapped in the face or anything like that.
No, I'm not going to slap Lindsay. I know you meant her slap me. See, that was where I was joking. And
correct.
See, that's where I was joking, and they would have said, "See how egoic and abusive he is." he just revealed that he even thought about slapping Lindsay. No, that was a bit. I knew he meant her. Of course, I would never put my hands on a woman unless they asked me to. Go ahead, Lindsay. Go in my back area. I'm going to allow it one time because you're kind of special. And put the link back there, and I'll play it, whatever it is. Oh, we're at the 3rd hour as well. So you better
I
make
thought we
it
were
quick.
going to share it.
Be in and out of my back area quickly because we're at the 3rd hour. Don't tell anyone I let you in there. I don't normally do this, I swear.
That's okay, because I don't know how to get in there. Oh, I see. Private.
Yeah, you got to work it. Okay. We're going to give her a few moments back there. See if she can.
So I'm going to
get
watch it
down.
myself. I've seen it a million times.
No, you're going to go to the private chat over there. You see that private chat button?
Yes, I see it.
Go in the private chat and then put the link to the video in there, and then I can click it and bring it up.
All right, thanks. I didn't know. Never done that.
See, this woman is teachable, and that's a good sign.
Grooming process almost complete.
Sometimes you got to tell them how to go in your back area and get things done. Makes it a little bit awkward, but it establishes trust.
Okay, here it is.
Family broadcast ends at hour 3. What are you trying to say? What are you expecting? This is not an official grooming session. Lindsay has no obligations to me or to the audience.
All right, there we go. Now I feel better. Now I'm like kind of off to the side.
What did you just do, man? That was weird. You just you didn't do anything like in my back. Yeah, I saw you went backstage. Did you wipe up back there if you did something?
Well,
because it got like high energy in here. It got kind of sexy in here. You could feel the energy, you know. And then you just went off. 30 seconds later, you came back and like, I feel better now. And you like breathing heavy.
Yeah, yeah, it was premature, ejection.
Oh man.
See what I did with that?
No, that's gross.
Very clever.
I don't want to see any of that.
There's the link.
Okay. We had to fill time there. That was good. So here it is. Lindsay, line 1, premiering. Apparently, Charles Bukowski, go all the way. Get to it.
If you're going to try, go all the way. Otherwise, don't even start. If you're going to try, go all the way. This could mean losing girlfriends, wives, relatives, jobs, and maybe your mind. Go all the way. It could mean not eating for 3 or 4 days. It could mean freezing on a park bench. It could mean jail. It could mean derision, mockery, isolation. Isolation is the gift. All the others are a test of your endurance, of how much you really want to do it. And you'll do it, despite rejection and the worst odds. And it will be better than anything else you can imagine. If you're going to try, go all the way. There is no other feeling like that. You will be alone with the gods, and the nights will flame with fire. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. All the way. All the way. You will ride life straight to perfect laughter. It's the only good fight there is.
Oh yeah, I can inseminate a woman to this. Lindsay, this is about 4 minutes long. What do you say for old time's sake?
We can get one out real quick. Do you get
Powerful. I just climaxed.
It's my favorite poem.
Okay? This was meant to be here today.
Right.
Flow State says, I don't understand women. Yes, I brought him up again. I don't need to understand women. I understand myself. That's just as good, if not better. By understanding self, I understand all beings. Self is self.
Did you get I'm sure you did, but I got to ask anyway. How
No.
Okay, good.
If you meant the last 3 years, that's the energy I was getting from you. Did you mean the last 3 years? Whatchamacallit?
I mean how it resonates with the fact that we all want to be free, but we're stuck to an extent. And that we don't want the consequences, but we want the freedom.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going more direct there, but it's pretty much the same.
It was tied into our conversation. I'm just completing the
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, essentially the spirit yearns to be free.
Right.
And it would seem to me that, at least for men, the reason why they can't love truly or deeply is because they're not truly free in themselves, on their land, in their relationships.
Mm-hmm.
So the one thing that the women want from the men they can't get, it eludes them because they do not foster the relationship where a man can be completely a man and be free.
Well,
Right,
that's
so this is
to it. That's your Paul's own addition to it, because I didn't see anything or hear anything about women. But I guess you could
right,
say
I'm adding on to that
I got you.
pertaining to what I am kind of most passionate about. Again, the reason I started this channel was not only to move over from the shadow ban first channel, which was having a whole bunch of strikes and notification issues, but it was about relationships, essentially, right? Men and women, and the conscious and awareness aspect behind that. Like, where's the disconnect? Because again, I contend that the rights, freedom, principle, spiritual faith is hinged upon relationship with self and women as a man, right? So it's the necessary component, family, community, communing, if you will, that leads to or supports the rest of the walk and journey. So, yeah, that's why at times I will fixate, you might say, on the psychology behind men and women relationships, sexuality. I find it to be a linchpin of what we're dealing with, the human condition, right? Culture and society. I think that it's a main peg.
And it's the slavery and being caged that you're talking about, even with relationships. There's a certain amount of something that people usually have to give up. But if you're saying you're a polygamist or you're into free love or whatever it is, I may not agree with you. I don't have to. But I see your point of view, because relationships can become like cages where there's someone telling you what to do, how to be, where to go, et cetera, like they own you. And I can kind of relate to that aspect. And there's always some structure in society, some protocol, some rule, some law that we have to follow. Choice of words is have to exist, to survive. And then when you absolutely refuse to follow those protocols, you're seeing that dog with 3 legs. You're seeing that water overflowing, all the images you saw in that play. You're seeing repercussions. You're seeing why people are scared to truly let go and be themselves and say fuck everything that they do not agree with and do not want to ascribe to.
Right. Not only am I is that a part of the aspect, but the bigger part of it, more importantly, is not what I want or don't want and what I believe or don't believe. I'm talking about embodying the creational nature of a man. This is not up for debate as far as I'm concerned, right? A man is created to be a certain way. And it is then through culture and society and women that inclination is attempted to be overwritten or is dealt with, so to speak. So again, I mean, this has kind of been laid out in movies. This is the war on masculinity. It's not from an egoic perspective. It's we have to own the position. This is the way a man is created to be. As uncomfortable it is for the women who already know it subconsciously, if nothing else. We need to own that position, and we need to have discussions and experiences that move into supporting a man being a man by nature, not a man being a man by a woman's nature. Because again, we have a complementary nature.
I don't disagree there. I mean, we're never going to have like some kind of egalitarian society where we're equal. We're just not. We're physiologically not equal. Brains aren't the same. Yes, they're constructed the same, but we think differently. Whether that's from nature and nurture, it really doesn't matter at this point. It's a fact. We're different. So why do we keep trying to fight this? It's not working. It's not productive. Why do we keep trying to fight that men and women and are saying that they're equal? I mean, I am trying to fight that because we're not. And I'm not trying to be anti-feminist or anything like that. I'm just speaking my mind. If you want to be based in reality and you want to be the best person you can be or the healthiest, then why subscribe to all of this BS that you have to do this or you have to do that or you have to marry and you have to have 2.5 kids or you have to, you're go girl, you can be the man of the family and the woman? I don't agree. It just doesn't work that way. It's not nice and neat and clean. So there's something we agree on, I guess.
Yeah, it's not going to be for everybody at this time because not every man is fit for every position. So for a woman to walk with a man at that position, he has to be ready for that and capable of that. So that's a conditional statement. I'm not out here fighting for men's rights. Like, we ain't all equal, men, women, the whole deal. There's a walk here. There's states of consciousness. You have to elevate and grow into what you're ready for. Because if not, you're just wind up causing more damage to yourself and whatever woman that you're dealing with. If you're going to lead, you got to lead everybody where we need to go, not where you want everyone to go. Because that winds up people feeling betrayed or used and abused. So again, we can't ignore this and we can't be arrogant about it. We have to accept life on life's terms, how a man is created to be, and then guide and direct that. So again, we have complementary natures. A man is always going to be on some level looking at the next one.
And why does that have to be bad? Why can't it just be?
It doesn't have to be bad. It doesn't have to be bad. Right, because again, they don't want to upset their egoic construct where they're bound to a limited experience by choice and want to say it's not a choice. Right, so I contend it is a choice because we're not made to be that way, and it's not a negative thing. It's what gives rise to community. You can't go back to the origination point and not see there's 2-to-1 men to women. So we're at least talking a 2-to-1 scenario. Women are meant to get with a man once they're pregnant, especially, and stay with him for 9 months. A man can't put all his eggs in one basket or the tribe dies. So you would have had to procreate, and you're inspired to naturally procreate and make love to more than one woman. And as long as they're not competing with each other for your affection, but you're all working a process and a procedure together, that is essentially the original community and tribe. Right? These are our children. These are our human family in a sense, not to bring in an incestuous sort of component because it sounds that way, but you see self as self. So there is no competition. There's acceptance of life on life's terms, and we work within those guidelines and also good sense, logic, morals, and ethics. Because if you let a man, especially in the early years of his life, ego unbound, with no direction and principle, he's just going to fuck whatever woman will give him the time of day. That can't be it either. So within inside of every man is a heart space. and it is discerning, right? So it will, regardless of how much attraction you have to a woman physically, it will tell you this woman is not, you know, wifey material like this. It's for the streets, you know. Or, I mean, to put it in a more, I guess, equitable or diplomatic way, if you can't come to an understanding and resonate on an energetic level, an informational level, you got no business laying down with that being. And the majority of beings, as a man who I come across, don't matter how physically attractive I am to that woman, who and what they are and how they emote and communicate is not going to work for them, let alone us.
For anyone.
Right. So, you know, that's where I again, that's where we bring it to the middle ground, the gray area of within each man is a woman, and a masculine and a feminine, essentially, right? Component. Just like in every woman, there's a masculine and feminine component. They have to work together inside of self and together outside of self to give way to what is supernaturally meant to be. But we can't have that reconciliation until we have those triggering conversations and everybody owns the position and gets the trigger and gets the conversation and the understanding to get the reconciliation to move forward in truth and life on life's terms. That is the process. That's all of what I've been on in my life. And that's all of what I've been on, mainly when it comes to these interactions here on panel.
Did you actually? Go ahead. Did you actually sit down with? I think you said her name is Jen, girlfriend. Did you actually?
Yeah, she's a woman. She's not a girl.
Woman friend.
Yeah, I'm just kind of being, you know, but I like to get all the words in terms. It's better for all of us, just even consciously, subconsciously, to not repeat the shit, right? So we're friends first because you have to have an understanding and be able to see from each other's perspective. Right? But yeah, she is a woman, and there's complete transparency and authenticity. And there seems to be more as time goes on, more of an understanding through the application and experience that this is a potential and a possibility because she can trust me and my discernment to some degree, right? I mean, again, I don't think anybody's...
Two women friends besides her should be okay with it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that it's an objective okay, not okay. I think it would be conditional like it would be if I was in her position. Who is the being coming forth, right? What do they look like, talk like, live like, just from top to bottom? Who's the being? I think that on some level has something to do with it. You know, if we get past the egoic competition side of things, which I think...
I keep wanting to interrupt. It's just... I can't, if you talk, then I can't remember everything I wanted to ask. If you keep talking, and I'm not saying you're talking a lot, I'm saying I'm interrupting you because I have questions on things that you've already said. That's the problem.
Yeah, no, I get that. There's going to be a lot of stuff that kind of comes up. But yeah, I'm not necessarily taking offense to it if you interject.
When you say your women rather, who are you talking about? Because you only have one woman friend. What are you talking about?
I mean, again, I don't... First of all, you're presuming that there's only one being who, you know, I'm interacting with
I don't
or
know.
without her. Again, you just claim to know because you said there's only one woman. So if you don't know, why would you make an affirmative statement?
Because sometimes you say, my women, and I wanted to know, for clarity, who are your women? Like, what are you talking about?
I don't even necessarily remember. I may say that just naturally, but I can't even call attention to where I've said my women. And if I do, I'm probably saying it from the typical egoic standpoint of whatever women are in your life who you have a responsibility or an obligation with or to. So
that's all I wanted to know. But I'm going to quit twisting your arm here.
No, I don't mind it. It's just, you know, let's again, I'm just...
No, but I've been going on. I think people are sick of having me up here. And
again, I'm not interested what people, because I'm sure there's a broad range of thoughts and feelings and whatever going on with folks observing, but I'm more interested in what I'm getting value from or what I see as valuable conversation, or just different from what we've had here. So I've already explained to you, I would focus less on how folks in the chat are receiving you or reacting to you and focus more on my discernment in leading and doing a broadcast or just having a conversation that has some entertainment or value to it.
Okay. What I was thinking, because we're so different, I'll have to explain, which was I need to be considerate. What if other people want to get up here? I try to be.
They don't, because I've thrown a link down over and over again and nobody's come up. And that's usually a good indicator that when you see the numbers above 130 at this point, and you see the chat going a mile a minute, and you see nobody else kind of interrupting or interjecting, there's kind of a moment happening, right? And what I've learned is it's more of a feeling than it is really a observation thing. So I know it more when I'm there than I necessarily know how to get there, if that makes sense.
Yes.
I'm a pretty good judge, I want to believe in those things.
What happened to BSBT? Did we scare him?
We probably scared a lot of folks, including ourselves, a little bit here today, and I think that's good.
I'm just here mainly for the restreaming capability.
He's just here for the restream.
I'm just kind of like a decoration, you know what I mean? Like a
That's
decoration.
creepy. Why does everything sound like a creepy innuendo?
I don't know. Like I didn't even mean it that way. But I'm just here as like a decorative piece. You know, I just come up so that the logo is up there, and then hopefully we can funnel as much of this audience over to my channel as possible. But that's it.
You know what? You're probably stronger and more, I don't know, assertive, more of these
Then flow state? Yes, absolutely. Damn it, I said it again.
Then you present yourself. You seem very insecure and put yourself down a lot.
Well, I mean, self-deprecating humor is, I
appreciate that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't take myself too serious, I guess, unless there's certain situations that call for it. I kind of get a rap on YouTube or around social circles, I guess, as being egoic and narcissistic as well. And then so for you to come up here and for you to just say to me the opposite of what that would mean, so then it starts making me say, well, which one is actually true, right? Because it can't be both. You can't be narcissistic.
I want to know when we had all these clinical psychologists just come out of the woodwork everywhere, who all can just accurately identify narcissistic personality disorder without seeming to know even the qualifications to get to that diagnosis.
Let me explain again, because that may seem an out of the blue comment. When I came in here at first, Paul was talking to you and he was asking you basically to be more manly and quit being so beta-ish. And I didn't know you. I still don't know you. I admit that. So this may seem like me coming up as an attack, but I'm saying, listening to what Paul said about you and listening to you myself, I'm not making a diagnosis. What I'm saying is, hey, you know, I wish that you would come off as being stronger and more confident so that you wouldn't have got bamboozled or whatever by your boss that you and Paul were talking about.
Well, I didn't bamboozled by my boss. I'm not sure, but
you got fucked up by your boss or something, or didn't stand up to him, and you were coming in here with that problem. There's nothing wrong with coming in here with that problem. So what I heard Paul say was you need to kind of man up and be more alpha, and you're presenting yourself as beta. So when I ask you a question, I tested that theory just because, no particular reason, and that's how you came off.
Yeah.
And you got very defensive, and you know there's an opportunity for you to say, no, Lindsay, you're totally wrong. You're high, you know, get off my back or whatever it is. Instead, you just freaked out.
Well, I don't know if I would call it freaked out, but
well, whatever.
Well, wait, is this one of your guys, Josh? Is this one of the guys who chases you around? Because as soon as she did this, he jumped out the window like he loves it.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. No, but just to kind of elaborate on that, I'll try to keep it real quick. When I was raised by a mom and 3 older
You
sisters.
got that. I was gonna say it. See,
Yep.
you got that mama spirit up in you. This is a common theme, and this is why you found daddy.
But then I went in the Marine Corps. Quickly became a man. You join the Marines.
That's not how that works.
Kind of man.
Okay.
But listen,
I'll let you
hold
go.
on.
I'll let you go on.
Hold on. And
That's not how that works.
And then I had a kid, right? I had a kid, but I was a single parent. So I was kind of, I'm talking about, newborn infant child. So I was kind of forced to tap into my feminine side, if you will, because I had to be a mom kind of and dependent on other people when I had my daughter.
Mr. Mom.
And then after about 8 years of doing that and trying to make things work in kind of a somewhat dysfunctional family unit, then folks sent state agents after me to try to basically mess with my life. And I decided at that point that that's when I had it, and I use a camera. And now I just document what those state agents try to do. That's the day I got my manhood back, is when I started standing up and saying, you know what, you're not going to push me around. You're not going to tell me what to do. And if I have to use a camera, and if I have to sit in a cage for a little while, I mean, hell, I get threatened with being put in a cage for asking a court for very simple things like, can I see the factual evidence of jurisdiction here? Then
I'm about to put you in a fucking cage right now.
Well, okay, so this is where I'll wrap up, right? So then asking simple logical questions such as, can I see the factual evidence of jurisdiction in a courtroom? Somehow that gets judges really angry for some reason, which is odd, because if they had it, then what's the point of getting mad, right? But then they get really, really mad and start threatening you with cage, right? And
the mad shit is to scare you, it seems. Like, that's more pimping, right? They're like, fuck, he's onto us. I'm going to get mad right now and get you scared, so you stop talking about this. It's really good gaslighting and, like, acting. They're not really mad.
Yeah, and then I say things like, have you calmed down yet to the judge? And then I end up on A&E.
You don't want to do that.
Yeah. I asked him if he had calmed down a little bit yet. But anyways, so my point to that is, then the judges that get
One
mad
thing
at me,
you never say to a woman or a judge in a back and forth is, go ahead and calm down for me.
Yeah, right. That's why I did it. That is exactly why I did it, though. And you should have seen it. Law Talk with Mike. He reviewed that video. Law Talk with Mike did, and he said the only thing that would have been worse is if it was a woman. If he, I like to go with
a nice. Let's refocus.
Yeah, let's refocus.
It's getting a bit heated here. Let's refocus.
Or is it my turn to talk? They love it when you ask, is it my turn to talk, after they keep cutting you off. But anyways, so my whole point to saying that was,
is it my turn to talk?
Yeah, right.
I'm kidding, go ahead.
Right. So they'll send me to these cages to go look for factual evidence of jurisdiction. And I've been to several of these cages looking for it. I still have not come up with factual evidence of jurisdiction. I'm thinking of taking a picture of it. Well, since I fired up a live stream last time they sent me to jail, I'm going to take a picture of that so they can put it in my file, and I can say, look, all you have to do is put this in the file. This is your factual evidence of jurisdiction right here. Stop bullshitting. Just say it. Just come out and fucking say it. Just say, we're going to throw you in a cage if you dare question our authority. Just say that. Then I'll shut up.
That's the thing. You must be dumber than everyone else, because everyone else already figured that out. That's why they think we're stupid. They go, we already know how this game goes. You just do everything they say, and you try to stay out of jail. And they don't understand why we do what we do. So there's a little bit of a gap in understanding and communication there.
Yeah, and instead of having a family that's supportive and understanding and kind of, hey, we see this as you kind of standing up.
I'm going to stop you right there. I'm going to stop you right there. Because you got with a woman and you put your little ding up in her, and she was a beta girl, and you were probably a beta boy at the time. So, let's not victim.
So
because we come from the original family, and then we get to break generational curses and cycles, and then we get to replicate and try again.
Yeah. But
at some point, you got to take accountability, responsibility for what you call in or don't call in at this time.
Yeah, no, it's totally my fault. I'm not trying to, do the whole victim thing I mean, it still goes on to this day. So,
Bro, you act like you, but listen, let's just not do it, because the reason we're bonded here on some level is because we have the same walk, because we're the same self. Majority of my friends and family and all the people where I come from, I had to leave there with nobody.
Right.
Because they're not going to support the walk, and they're not interested in living in truth and doing what's right. They're interested in living a convenient lie to get their comforts, benefits, and privileges.
Yes, 100%. Perfectly articulated. And then, and all
So you don't want their support is really what I'm saying? You don't want them.
I mean,
they did you a favor. They got the fuck up out of your life and freed you up to call in something better and new if you would just get out of the past.
Yeah. And that's kind of that's where the fear comes in. I'm not afraid of much, but too much chaos and too much unknown is not really good for me, although I'm trying to learn to surrender to that journey. I don't know if I said that accurately or whatever, or if I answered your question. Oh, and then the one last thing, Lindsay, you said that folks are having 2.5 kids now. I overshot. I had 3. So I think I had half a kid too much.
Okay. Do you regret having kids? Is that what you're trying to say?
You got an audio thing going on. You're back to low again.
Do
you regret having kids?
No, I don't. I mean, I don't regret having my children, because I think if you say you regret having them, it's kind of saying you wish you had, had abortions or asked to.
Do they regret having you?
Well, I guess you'd have to ask them. The one's only 5, so he's not old enough yet to know.
Listen, man, I can fuck around and bust your balls. I think there's certain things, as you know, I've told you before, you need to tighten up on. But ultimately, I think you got a good heart. I think you want to be in those children's lives. I've seen that you care about them on some level and that you interact with them, and you have a love and a care for them. And so at the end of the day, whatever that beta female that you called in at one point being a beta male, whatever she's up to, she's got to live with that. And I keep trying to explain to you to just, let go and move into your purpose more and more. If them children are available to you, then you know how to meet with them or whatever. If not, then you got to figure out if you're going to abide by that or work around it. At some point, they're going to grow out of it, because you still got that whole situation going on, right? With the oh no, wait, it's not even the woman you're with. It's the sister. It's your whoever. Complicated. We always do it through. Yeah. It's the sister-in-law with some other bozo. And again, is everybody right in the situation or wrong? Probably a little bit of both. But they don't seem to want to reconcile, and you don't seem to be able to let go when it comes to them. I'm not talking about the children. Probably never let go of that.
There's a lot of truth to what you just said. There's a lot of truth to that. So, but that's basically where I'm at on my journey. But as you could tell, from what Paul recapped, Paul's had the advantage of kind of being able to peek in on my craziness over Facebook. So he kind of has a little bit of an inside scoop, but it's a very complicated, complex, layered story. And so it would take probably 10-hour live.
I think it was pretty simple. I think I just laid it out. It was pretty simplified that, this is oneself. There's a bunch of inauthentic corporate males and females involved in a system where they got courts involved with children. And pretty much their only gripe with you is you're not a perfect person and maybe you're not the best version of yourself you could be. Well, join the fucking club. Because I guarantee if I get into that goofy bitch and that tard she's with over there, I'm sure I'm going to find a whole bunch of skeletons in their closet. And it's not going to feel the same way when we talk about that. So that's the egoic game everybody wants to fucking play. And I like to go right past that shit to the truth of the facts of the matter. That's the father of them children. If you're keeping the father of them children out of their life and he's not a direct threat to them, you're going to have to live with that judgment. It is what it is.
And
no getting around it.
Yeah, they're doing their best to try to use some YouTube flying monkeys. I got a whole squadron of flying monkeys on YouTube that try to come after me and do their bidding. And so I just it's.
Hey, listen, bro, and I'll even go one better. If you're not on drugs and alcohol and you don't even have to answer to that, you know what it's about. If you're not on any hard drugs and you're not a drunk and you're working and taking care of your responsibilities and trying to make something better out of your life and yourself, and they don't want to let you have access to them children, well, they got to live with that, bro. And they're going to call in a whole bunch of situations for themselves. I believe, I've experienced it. You let go of shit and people do something to try to get at you from their ego, and it all comes back on them.
Yeah. And I allowed folks to have too much control over my life, and I was trying to, basically please or listen to folks that didn't have my best interest in mind. They were just interested in basically getting what they could out of me. And I guess
they don't even need to have your best interest in mind. I don't even need to like you in order to have that child's best interest in mind and tell everybody or understand what everybody needs to fucking do to avoid having another replication of a dysfunctional household and familial dynamic.
Yeah, and here's maybe another simplified way to look at it is like everything I do on YouTube is basically me with disagreements with my government, right? The government and me are at odds. Folks
so all you really learned is that your sister's a fucking beta female, and so is the bitch boy that she's with. Big surprise.
Yeah, exactly. And so, and for my family to try to use that as kind of the reason why I shouldn't have access to my kids or whatever, for me, I find that odd because
here's part of your problem. Here's where you go. Not a problem. Here's where you go to the next level, and this is where you learn to be diplomatic and speak more clearly what the intention and the understanding is. None of us are against the government. This is the rap they want to put on us. And I'll speak for me. I don't know what you're about, but I contend you do the same thing I do it your own way. You don't do it the way I do it. I mean, few do. That's a little bit of an egoic trigger, whatever. I'm owning it, God of all media. So, yeah, man. I mean, the bottom line is I'm not against government. I'm not trying to overthrow government. I'm saying that I don't believe that I require government because this is a land founded upon self-governance. So if I've shown in my past or present history that I'm capable and willing and have the results to govern myself and lead in myself and in my home and in my community, then any form of corporate governance is superfluous. It's redundant, right?
Yeah.
And it's not necessary. It becomes a corruption to the individual and a detriment. So I'm not against it. I'm just getting the game back in its proper perspective. Government is necessary for those who can't govern themselves. If I can, well, then go that way and find a slave who can't.
Yeah.
I'm not a player hater.
Right. So I guess if I said it more accurately, it's not me necessarily against my government. It's me against
You're for the true governance of this land. Let me give you the next clue. You're not only not against governance, you're for the truest governance of this land, which is of the people, by the people, for the people, based in rights, freedom, and principles. Anything else is illegitimate government.
Yeah, and then when I see situations that are unfair or inequitable, I have a huge problem with that. And so then I'll use my camera to document what's going on because there was an element of gaslighting in there, and I don't want to be. Right,
but you got to get really real with yourself now, and this is what people don't want to do. Life is fair on some level because everybody's a player on the stage, and you could argue if you put on enough performances and you do them well enough, you're going to have an influence and effect on that outcome. Maybe that's my ego again. Maybe you need a healthy amount of ego to be a good performer in life, let alone on the stage. So the reality is you may have to take some level of accountability that if you could go into a courtroom and present and they still get their way and they're a bunch of goofy broken bitches and you ain't pimping the right way. Proper instruction motivates people, of course. We're not out here selling body parts.
Right. And I think you hit the nail on the head too earlier with what you said, which is, maybe I'm just not meant to be with certain people on the walk. Maybe some folks were actually impeding my walk. And so now I'm attracting the folks that are meant to be on the walk or will help facilitate the things I need to get to. Because, you can't.
I am one of them. I am one of them. I got the green thumb now because the resin's all over my hands. But I've been telling you from the beginning, bro, beyond my own self-interest, which we all have, I've taken a care to you because I see myself in pretty much everyone that I interact with. And when I see somebody who's willing to not go against, but to put the game back in its proper perspective based on what's true and what's right, regardless of consequences, I develop a certain level of respect or care for that. So I'm going to give you more of my attention. Now, you got to decide if you like that or not. If you don't want it, you don't have to have it. But again, there's a lot of folks who want my attention now, all of a sudden, for some reason, you know, and you can make the inferences. I'm sure there's various motivations. But yeah, that's a good way. That's a good thing in a sense, right? So, yeah, I mean, if I could just be a form of support for anybody who's doing this walk, a sponsor in a sense, to be a form of refocusing or redirecting, reprioritizing for one's own self to get better results, then I'm your best friend, right? And I'm your worst enemy as well, because I'm going to call you out on all the shit that you don't want to see and hear that it's going to take for you to go to the next level. So it's going to feel like I'm going to be your worst enemy because I'm going to push buttons. I'm going to test you and challenge you. I'm going to call you out on some shit. I'm going to throw you the ball and see if you falter. And we just work on it, man. It's a long game. Oh, but if you love the game and you respect the game and the players for what they do in the game, we're going to get somewhere. That's what I found. You know, I'm not just up here talking some shit I don't know or haven't experienced. I speak straight from my heart and I live the information. And this is ancient wisdom from the beginning of time on certain levels. But the rest of it is a little bit of remix that I put on it. As far as I'm concerned, and pretty much anybody else who's worked with it with me, it's foundationally sound. And this is the precipice of all we know as a system of law, is philosophy. Right? You can't have law without knowledge of self. You can't have self-governance without knowledge of self. So the precipice, right, the foundation of what they call legal goes back to lawful, and lawful goes back to philosophical. So it's about how you think and perceive, right? And this is why we've lost our rights, freedom, principles, and many of us our faith, because the way that we perceive greatly influences the outcome, obviously, right? Perception and perspective is not reality, but it creates reality, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes absolute sense. So hopefully that answered your question, Lindsay. I don't know.
No, I didn't have a question, just an observance.
Oh, right on.
I just heard somebody that seemed like he had a good heart and seemed like he needed to stand up to the plate. So I decided to see what something positive about you is, and I already saw that your heart is good. And so I was kind of saying, yeah, you know, yippee, get on that horse and do your best. It sounds disingenuous. It sounds corny, but that's what I'm thinking about you. I want you to succeed, and I don't even know you.
Well, thank you for saying that.
Yep, it's with sincerity, and also thank you for your service too.
Yeah.
Snafu is all over every woman that comes in here. And it doesn't matter how much that they even submit or show submission. This is what I said to her earlier. You don't have to do with me what you have to do with them because of their insecure ego, right? He's now like, she's not allowed to speak life into him, right? And call him forth to be more of a man, whatever that is, presuming he feels that that's true. Because you don't have to, you know, see that or feel into that. I think we all can see and feel into that on some level, right? But you know, forget about that. That, you know, she's trying to speak life into him and you know, observe parts of him like parts of all of us that maybe need to really step out into. No, let's just go, oh, she's the caller, a good heart. She's not allowed to have a perspective and opinion. She is a woman, of course. So, you know, pretty much she's supposed to be just kind of powerless and voiceless. Okay. Great job, Snafu. You never fail to disappoint. It's the same fucking rap with you with every woman who comes in here. Doesn't matter where our conversation goes or what the energy or levels are, the consciousness. You're a one trick pony. That's it. Go ahead.
Well, and I got to drop down.
Yeah, I'm going to end it anyway, very shortly. But I'm going to bring Snafu up first and whoever else. And go ahead. Just make sure you beat this woman, abuse her, make judgments, cast her out, make sure she doesn't come back here. And then make sure also she goes around everywhere telling everyone how horrible I am or this place is that I've erected. Because it's really great for my image and for promotion and marketing. It actually is indirectly, because it'll just call more people to come see for themselves. Then they'll do the loop all over again. It's fascinating. Go ahead, Joshua. You were saying you're taking your leave now?
Yeah. I'm dropping down, but thanks for having me up. And Lindsay, thanks for saying what you said. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Cheers to you. Good luck.
And thank you, Broken System, for restreaming on your channel, because you gave the audience access to the God of all media. And that is a very magnanimous thing for you to do for them. So I'm going to thank you for them personally.
Yes, and so far, well, the analytics, we can talk about that, I guess, some other time. Don't have to bore the audience.
Oh, I don't give a fuck about any analytics. Come on, I am the analytics. The NI is greater than the AI. Natural intelligence is greater than artificial intelligence. Don't come at me with the analytics. I'm not interested.
All right, yeah, we won't do that then. All right, take care.
See how easy that was? I love you, brother. All right, now get the hell out of here.
What am I doing up here? What am I doing up here?
Now we're going into the non-family portion of the broadcast, which will be conducted backstage, of course. I'm half kidding. Go ahead. Give us the final word, Lindsay. I'm going to wrap it up. Shut her down. I'll be back tomorrow.
Final word. I'm just going to go ahead and say, be yourself. Oscar Wilde said, be yourself, because everybody else is already taken. That's the truth. All you can be and do is be your authentic self, and people are going to hate you or like you, either one. So just maintain your own sense of the realization that you're okay as you are.
Yeah, horrible advice for Snafu Snaps and a few other characters, but I won't get into it. Go ahead, listen to Lindsay. Just keep being yourself. And
who else can you be?
Well, they can try to be more like me, okay? I didn't want to say it, but you asked, so I answered.
And also quit telling people who to be friends with and what to think and who to hate and who to like. Let people decide for themselves. Thanks.
Right. That's just code for Slow State was wrong. Lindsay loves me, and all of his cronies and lackeys. Stop. This is my portion. and all of his cronies and lackeys over there. There's that for you. I was authentically me this whole time. Lindsay and everyone else loves me. You're hating on me. And a small part of you, like the Grinch, loves me too. Get in touch with that. Stay in that space. I think we'll be better off. Final words, Lindsay. I'm going to throw you out.
No, I'm out. Throw me out.
All right. Perfect. I'll see you later. Okay. Great interaction. Resoundingly successful broadcast as far as I'm concerned. We mixed it up. It had highs. It had lows. It went left. It went right. All the things, right? That's a good broadcast. High energy, action-packed, information dense at times. Emotional content was available. Peace was available. Love was available, brothers and sisters. I know you could feel it. All right, I'm out of here. I'll be back tomorrow, as always, somewhere between the 12 to 2 MDT hours, somewhere in that range. You got to check for the notification. They may not send it out to you, so you may have to check on me. Once again, thank you to the folks who contribute and support to me in this broadcast. You are a blessing, gifting away out there, because I'm just so amazing, God of all media. So, of course, that is appreciated. I'm thankful and grateful for that. All right. I'm out of here. Stand with Ukraine, Israel, whoever else they tell you to. That's how it's going for a lot of you slaves. Mazel tov. I'm out of here.